Mars. These Laker fans, I'm sick of them. Let me tell you why I'm sick of them, Mars.
We starting out early. The reason why
I'm sick of them, Mars, because they're spoiled children. Watch what happens when the Lakers go on a 7-game win streak, or when they go on an 8 or 9-game win streak throughout the course of this season. This dude John's gonna be back up here, and he's gonna be like, okay, I like what I'm seeing right now from my boys. You see what Anthony Davis is doing? He looks like he's gonna be back.
Question though.
One of the main reasons why I'm not done. One of the main reasons why they're going to be in that win streak, because Anthony Davis is going to get it together defensively, which means this team is going to get it together defensively. And then all of a sudden, John's going to bring his ass back up here, and he's going to be like, yo, okay, my crew, we starting to figure it out. I like what I'm seeing from Anthony Davis. I like what I'm seeing from the Lakers. Rui might not need to go, and it's going to start all over again. The Laker fans, they're spoiled children. That's who they are. I'm sick of you dudes.
When have I done that?
John,
when have I done that this season?
John, if they do that, are you going to bring your ass? Stop being a black ass back up here and do that?
But this is the thing, though. When the season first started and we looked good and we were beating these teams, did I come up here and start saying all that stuff? Or did I tell y'all that I'm waiting?
I heard you do that stuff. Where have you seen it? I heard it, man. I heard it.
Last year during the in-season tournament, we remember that. We remember you parading around here.
One more time.
I heard it.
Like spoiled,
we see you up here breakdancing.
Children.
And what happens with spoiled children, Penn? What happens with spoiled children when they get their way? What happens with them?
They cry.
No, I'm talking about when they get their way. What happens with spoiled children when they get their way?
It's all good.
Everything's great, right?
Everything's all right.
When have I come up here and said, "Oh yeah, the Lakers they're serious. They're serious now"? When did I do that? If y'all can tell me when I did that, I'll concede the argument.
I heard it. I know.
Where? When? Mars, you are really good at letting people know when they said it, where they said it, and exactly what they said. So let me know.
I thought Mars was the master of wordplay.
When you guys beat the Warriors on Christmas and then you beat the Kings, I was hearing all this talk about how
from me smoking the Lakers pack.
Yes,
the defense is better. All of a sudden, you're not switching everything. AD's playing drop. It's like, oh, JJ Redick's figured things out. Okay. And now you guys suck again. All of a sudden,
Dorian Finney-Smith is the next coming of Scottie.
I remember. I asked you about the DFS trade. I remember we did that on our podcast, and all of a sudden, you're like, DFS is a good trade. It's a good addition. He's going to add some defensive.
It is a good addition, but that's not
point shooting.
Yo, John Deegan has to bring a lawyer up here. You're like, excuse me, my client did not say these things.
Because Mars, I could have sworn right after that I said, now I don't think this is a move that's going to move us up into that contender tier. I still think we need to slow down on LA because when we win 3 straight games, everybody's talking about LA in the media. When we lose 3 straight games, everybody's talking about LA in the media. And JJ Redick is on thin ice with me. I don't know if you guys talked about this yesterday or the past couple of days, but against the Spurs, we have this scheme to switch everything. So, okay, what do the Spurs do? Hey, CP3, ask for a screen from the guy that's being guarded by AD. Now we have Victor Wembanyama being guarded by Austin Reeves. That's happened multiple times last night. And they're just like, oh, we're going to keep doing it. And we're losing an offensive rebound battle. We're getting killed in the paint. It's awful. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful.
And when you turn that around, right? And when you turn that around and you go on your 6-game win streak and you're back in 5th place in the Western Conference and you're 2 games out of the 2 spot, and Anthony Davis looks like he's the second coming of Bill Russell again, when he looks like he's the second coming of Bill Russell, you know what? I think we're getting it together. I'm not going to jump the gun, but I think we're getting it together. I like what our rotations look like. I like what JJ Redick is doing with our offense. I think he's putting LeBron James's minutes right where we need him to be. I like his rotations with guys coming off the bench. That's what I'm going to hear from you, John. That's exactly what I'm going to hear from you.
John, can you agree to one thing?
If somebody finds the clip where I said this Lakers team is better than what they are, I'm going to continue to fight this because I've never come up here and said
can you agree
Lakers
to one
were
thing?
Playoff contenders. Never said it. I said we will be lucky to get out of a first round. That's what I said.
Can you agree to one thing? Laker fans are annoying as hell. Could you agree?
Yeah, they are. They are. And this is why
I'm a little bit bipolar.
I'm not one of them. But
they're not like us.
I'm just saying, like, I can be realistic with my team. I'm not going to come up here and say the Lakers are contenders for a 2-week span and then turn around and be like, oh, the Lakers suck.
You have officially graduated to teenager status. I love it. Not a spoiled
on camera and do that.
He is a spoiled teenager.
Lakers fans do have to show some maturity in light of well, their king turning 45 this year. In light of Wemby being better than AD, allegedly. In light of you guys not really being able to attract the third superstar. It's about to get real. Hey, Penn, when you hit the real world, things get real. You got to mature up. You got to accept reality, right?
Facts.
Once again, I would love to see this footage of me saying these things about the Lakers because I promise you, it must be slipping my mind.
First of all, I didn't say that. First of all, let's get to the bottom of something. I didn't say you said that. However, you are a Laker fan. Okay,
100%.
You are 100% a Laker fan, and I know you guys, and I know what happens when you guys start rolling. This is in the blood of Laker fans. This has nothing to do with you specifically as a man, John. This is you as a Laker fan. When you start rolling, Laker fans, their eyes get bigger. It's like being hungry, and you see what's on the table, and you want to eat everything. Your eyes always bigger than your stomach. When the Lakers start rolling, automatically, Laker fans, they perk up a little bit more. They start talking a little bit different. I did not say that you said this before. However, I do remember hearing you talk about your Lakers when the season started and you were rolling and you liked what was going on. You didn't say anything about championships. You didn't say anything about Western Conference championships. However, you did like that. So moving forward, when the Lakers will go on that 5, 6, 7 game win streak, you're going to come right back in here, and that I'm done with the Lakers nonsense is going to be gone. You're going to like what you're seeing. You're going to tell us about how good Anthony Davis is. You're going to tell us how you like JJ Redick's rotations, and you're going to be positive about them. It's not going to be, I'm out on the Lakers. You're not going to say that.
Okay. Can we just say one thing? John D, if people want to find out what you got to say about the Lakers, where can they find you?
At the Buzzer Sports, man. At the Buzzer Sports.
Amazing.
The key to consistency.
Plug it.
There you go.
It's great.
There you go.
And if people want to dig through your past Laker takes, where can they find it?
At the Buzzer Sports. I'm interested to see what y'all come up with because I think my name is gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
And you're on another podcast too with Mars?
Yeah, the Hoop Talk podcast, one of the best podcasts on the platform. You know what I'm saying? I'm always plugging that. I'm always plugging that. But
okay.
Yeah, that's it really. I mean, like, once again, I feel like coming into the season, everybody's optimistic about their team. You know, I'm sure everybody comes into the season, they're like, oh, you know what? And then 30 games passes and we're like, okay, we're starting to figure out what this team really is. And this is what it's been for the past couple of seasons with the Lakers. We look great. We look terrible. We're liable to lose to any single team any night because our motor is just not good. So once again, I can see a few things that I like. I'm never going to look at this team like something they're not. Like, we can make a playoff series interesting. I still think there are multiple teams who can beat us in a 7-game series.
John,
I'm not going to commit to this.
Because for the record, and I'm sure we're going to get to it, Ron, but here they come. When you talk about the Denver Nuggets, they look like they're getting it together. If you can avoid the Denver Nuggets, right? If you can avoid the Denver Nuggets, once we get to the playoffs, considering how you are once the playoffs start, do you hate your chances against anybody?
I hate my chances against a couple of teams. I really hate my chances against OKC. Really hate
you hate your chances.
I hate my chances against OKC. Like, I don't think that I don't think that's more than a 5-game series.
So you think they mop y'all up?
John D, that's crazy because I've been hearing Chill and a couple guys up here. Not sure. Force you to be a delusional Laker fan.
Literally,
it's kind of crazy. They're trying to force you to be a delusional Laker fan. But John D, do you know who has Lakers going to the Western Conference Finals?
Who?
If you tap into the best show on this platform, Chill with Chill, on Saturday mornings, noon Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Chill Town.
Wow.
If you can avoid Denver, I like your chances against anybody in the Western Conference.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Real quick.
You're mad at John D for the things you're doing.
No.
This was S-tier gaslighting. Love it.
Am I tripping?
Start glazing.
Am I tripping? Like,
wait. How are the Lakers doing right now?
Never said conference finals.
Stop right there.
Never said anyone but Denver.
And I said that right from the beginning. I said that from the beginning. Right from the beginning. But did you hear me at any point, Mars, say, I'm out on the Lakers? I'm sick of these dudes. Did you hear me say that?
What were you in?
because
I'm not gonna lie. I'm out on the Lakers. They're still my team. I'm still gonna watch.
You sold your stock.
When they go on this, I don't care if they go on a 15-game winning streak. I have to see it in the playoffs. Because we have seen a lot of deficiencies from this team that would make me think that this is not a contending team. This is not a contending team. There's no way we can have that type of motor game in and game out and be a successful playoff team. There's no way that we should be this liable to getting as many turnovers, not getting back on defense, having a bad defensive scheme, and for it to hold up in the playoffs. Teams like Memphis, teams like Houston that get out in transition, that run, they're gonna lick their lips when they see the Lakers. Like I'm not in on the Lakers. I'm not. And there's a lot of teams that scare me in the Western Conference. Dallas scares the hell out of me. OKC scares the hell out of me. Denver scares the hell out of me. Memphis still scares me. Memphis still scares me. We saw them with no big on their roster. Jaren Jackson was their starting five.
Right.
If they add a little bit more size, John Morant's still playing well. I'm scared of Memphis as well. There's a lot of teams as a Laker fan that really scare me. And I don't think that we may have the best duo on the floor. I don't think that's winning us a series anymore.
We might have met the first very realistic Lakers fan in the world. Okay, let me ask you a question.
I got to do
that. Can Anthony Davis be the best player in a series against Memphis?
Yes.
Can LeBron be the second best player in that series?
Yes.
So you could have the two best players in a series and still lose? That's hard to believe. That's hard to believe, bro.
I get that. But once again, when we look at the matchup and how, once again, this Memphis Grizzlies team is one of the best teams in transition. I think they're like top 3.
And what happens in the playoffs?
Trust
depth and transition go to hell, right? So what I'm saying is sometimes
the game
no. Hear me out. What carries you through
in the focusing more on transition, but the Lakers don't do that.
Okay,
but typically it goes to hell, but the Lakers are a horrible transition defense.
They are a horrible transition defense now. Yes, they are. They're horrible.
They've been horrible in the playoffs too. They don't just become a good one. Transition normally dies down when teams.
They were one of the better transition. In fact, the
Lakers are a terrible transition defense.
Were they not in 2023 the best transition defense? They were the best defense in the league.
This is a completely different team. This is
100%. Even though Rui's still there, even though James is still there, even though Reeves is still there, even though Anthony Davis is still there. Now.
When does Vanderbilt
next week apparently?
Now we'll see what happens with him.
We'll see.
I want to get back. I want to get back to Mars saying that I'm doing the same thing when I never said that I was out on this team. This guy said he was out on them. You don't hear me go. I'm sick of the Lakers.
Never said he was in. So he said he was out. John D has never said he was in on this team.
Not once, and that's why I've been arguing for the past.
Wait. I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You just said he never said he was in. So what were you advocating for in the beginning, Mars, when you talked about?
I was just trying to defend you, him. That's what I was trying to do. I was just lying.
Which is okay. Here we go. So Mars, why are you even?
I've never said this stuff. I've never said this stuff.
Mars is lying. So why is he even involved in this conversation?
You gotta stop listening to Mars. You gotta stop listening.
95% of what Mars says.
John, I want to get back to you. John, I want to get back to you. I want to get back to your crew. I'm thinking about the Lakers in the playoffs. In a 7-game setting. I'm not thinking about long-term, about the rest of this season. I'm thinking about in a week where you get to focus on the Memphis Grizzlies and you get to focus on the Memphis Grizzlies deficiencies. Can I get LeBron James? Can I get Anthony Davis? Can I get Rui to lock in and rebound? Can I get these guys to focus their attention on defense? Can I get them, because I've seen them do it. I've seen Rui do that in the playoffs. I've seen Anthony Davis do that in the playoffs. I've seen Austin Reeves, who is a liability, and I've seen them be able to protect him in the playoffs. I've seen that happen. Now, a guy like Max Christie might be a bit of an issue. 100%. I won't argue that at all. Max Christie might be a bit of an issue. However, when I think about the two best players in any series, when you play against Oklahoma City, when you play against Memphis, when you play against Houston, when you play against Dallas, if you have arguably the two best players in the series, do you have a chance? I'm saying 100%. So when I think about you
don't just have a chance. You got it. You got the series.
So when I think about you playing against Denver, I just don't like that matchup. When I see you playing against other teams, I don't hate it. That's why I'm saying if the Lakers can avoid Denver, I like them against anybody else in the Western Conference.
The thing that scares me is, one, against the Thunder, I would say we have the second and third best player, maybe. Well, I'm not going to say maybe. I would say we have the second and third best player. Against Dallas, we have the second and third best player. But in those series, we're talking about the two best point guards in the league who's going to fry our point of attack defense. They're going to fry it. They're going to fry it. SGA is going to put up efficient ass numbers in that series. The OKC Thunder are fantastic at creating turnovers, forcing turnovers. Guys like Cleveland and Boston are some of the least turnover prone teams in the league, and they changed the game defensively off of getting turnovers. What do you think the Lakers are going to do? LeBron has been turning the ball over tremendously over the season. It's been happening. So I just don't think going into a playoff series, we can ignore all the efficiencies that the Lakers have showed us for an 82-game sample size and just be like, all that stuff is going to go.
So first of all, regular season don't mean shit. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but there are certain things that don't necessarily move me in the regular season. Like, for instance, if you told me that a super veteran-laden team like the Denver Nuggets would fall down the standings a little bit because they had some issues, Jokic missed some time, etc., and they ended up being the 8th seed. That's a scary-ass 8th seed, man. That's a scary-ass 8th seed. And that's an 8th seed with the championship experience to be able to knock off a 1 seed. When I look at the team, you know, one of my favorite teams growing up was the Knicks. Obviously, was living in New York, and I saw that 8th seed Knicks team in the lockout shortened season, and I was like, that's a scary team. That's a scary team. It was a lot of veterans, really good coaching, solid defense, a lot of experience, though, a lot of playoff scars. So when you talk about what translates in the playoffs, it's not your depth because you're not playing 11 deep. It's not necessarily your youth, which has carried you through the regular season, and your attrition, right? Because you got games off in between days. So what are the teams that are going to really benefit from a playoff series? Teams like the Clippers, right? Like Kawhi, PG, sorry, not PG's not there anymore. James Harden, guys like that, Norman Powell, guys who've had really, really deep playoff runs. Teams like the Lakers, teams that have that championship experience, at least that core duo has actually won a championship together. Teams like the Nuggets, right? So we often talk about the depth being an issue for the Nuggets. Sure. Not a huge issue when you're playing your starters 40 minutes, right? Bigger issue in the playoffs. Not a huge issue that Jamal Murray has to play 38 minutes, but he's not playing back-to-backs now, right? So you don't have to worry about that. You got more rest recovery. The other thing I'll say that really translates in the playoffs, basketball IQ. If you have super, super cerebral, smart players, that's going to really translate, because when you start to hone in on a 7-game series, you got like a week and a half of scouting reports, practices. You got a lot of film sessions to really break down and dissect the weaknesses of these faster, younger teams. I'm not scared of Jake LaRavia in the playoffs. No disrespect. I'm not. I'm scared of LeBron James in the playoffs. I'm scared of Anthony Davis in the playoffs. Dorian Finney-Smith is also a really underrated pickup. I'm just saying. I'm not some Laker fan. I'm not a Laker fan at all. I haven't been a Laker fan since Shaq and Kobe. But I will say this. In the playoffs, if this team can get there, you're not telling me they're out of any series. They may not be favored to win against OKC, but they're not out of that series. You're not packing them up before they get there. Against the Dallas Mavericks, I'm not saying they're favored to win that. I'm not saying they're favored.
Penn, let me ask you a question. And I want you to stay right there, Penn. Today, let's say today is April the 20th, and the playoffs started. Today is April the 20th. The playoffs start this Saturday. The Lakers got Houston in round 1. How you like this series going?
I actually like LA against Houston.
This the number 2 seed in the Western goddamn conference, and you like them against the number 2 seed. Okay, so if you like them, and why do you like them? And I'm sorry, I'm cussing, Ron. I apologize. But why? But John, why do you like them against Houston?
Chill, right quick. See, you can curse right quick, John. Chill, you can curse all you want today. As we know, y'all, it is a national holiday. This is National Chill Town Day. Yes, January the 15th. It is Chill's birthday, so Chill. If you want to crash out on anybody, if you want to tell anybody shut the hell up, if you want to tell Lakers fans to be the hell quiet, sit in the corner and zip your lips, today's the day, Chill. So is there anything that you demand today?
I just want to have a conversation with John. John, why do you like your boy?
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Ron. John, why do you like your boys against Houston? What's going on?
I think they're players that they're going to be leaning on the most in that series to supply them of a efficient offense can lose them the series alone. 1,
Fred,
2. I think their half court offense is still very immature. I think the Lakers are going to have a better half court offense consistently. I'm sorry, Mars. I'm sorry. But anyway, Yeah, those are the two things that I would really look at and say, I don't know if I believe in Houston's half-court offense enough to where I can say they could beat the Lakers. I think that's a good matchup for the Lakers. Now, I do think the Houston Rockets can make this tough on them, but if I would have to put like money on it, I would say the Lakers will probably win that in 6 games.
So then, I was about to say that, John, because let's say you got past Houston, you'd have to play the Clippers, Memphis winner. Let's say Memphis beat them. How you like your chances against Memphis?
I don't hate it.
There you
go.
So
you don't hate your chances, and why don't? Because you know what that sound like, John? That sound like you tighten up your gloves a little bit tighter. Because now we're moving forward. You know what? I don't hate my chances against you. You know, I think I can beat that. That sounds like I think I can beat you. Why do you think you can beat Memphis? What about Memphis says, yo, I think we can beat them?
I think we can shrink the floor. I think we'll be able to really because once again, the half-court offense has gotten a lot better for Memphis. But once again, I would lean on my top 2 players.
You would lean on your top 2 players in the series. And you know what? How would that, in your estimation, we got a 6-7 game series. You like your boys early or you like your boys late?
Say that one more time.
What I mean is if the series is if Memphis is going to get rid of you guys, because I said this in 2023 when y'all played them, 2022 when y'all played them, I said the same thing. I said if Memphis is going to get rid of the Lakers, they better do it early because the longer the series lasts, it's worse for them. That's how I feel. And if this series is 6-7 games, how do you feel about them?
I think the Lakers would if it's a 6 or 7 game series, I would preferably it be 6 because then we'll be on our home floor. But I would try.
I can tell you right now, John, before you go any further, I'm not betting against James in Game 7. I'm not. James and Anthony Davis, I'm not betting against them in Game 7.
Maybe in the second round. You see, he be getting gassed now. He ain't the same Brown as he was. But John D, the problem with what Chill just said is that the Clippers will beat Memphis. So what happens when y'all play the Clippers?
Okay, so you end up seeing the Clippers in that series. How you like your boys against the Clippers? Because I love y'all against the Clippers. Honest, I don't like y'all against the Clippers. I love y'all against the Clippers.
I don't know. The Clippers are a really good team. They are a really good team.
They're a really good defensive team.
Once Kawhi starts getting in groove and getting in the flow of things, that could be.
Kawhi's moving right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that could be a 7 game series. But once again, I think any team in the West is good enough to have the right matchup and go to a conference finals. That's because I'm not saying it's just the Lakers, but when you have a Dallas who are hurt right now, but fully healthy, they are a very good team. OKC and Denver. Those are the teams I'm saying I don't trust at all. I don't trust the Lakers at all against those 3. If it's Memphis, Houston, the Clippers, I would say you know what? I don't hate that matchup. But when we're talking about those 3 teams in Dallas, OKC, and Denver, they're just bad matchups, and I don't trust the Lakers at all. I don't.
Okay, John D, without thinking about it too much, tell me if you would prefer which team in a 7-game series. Warriors, Lakers.
Lakers.
Suns, Lakers.
Lakers.
Kings, Lakers.
Lakers.
Spurs, Lakers.
Lakers.
Timberwolves, Lakers.
Lakers.
Mavericks, Lakers.
Mavericks.
Clippers, Lakers.
I'm going to lean the Lakers.
Okay.
I'm going to lean
Nuggets, Lakers.
Nuggets.
Grizzlies, Lakers.
That's tough because it's
no, it's not. No, it isn't. It's
not because I really trust. I really trust the Grizzlies defense.
You want to stand with your crew.
I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm going to go with Lakers.
Rockets, Lakers.
Lakers.
Thunder, Lakers, Thunder. Okay, so basically you're saying avoid the Mavericks, avoid Denver, avoid the OKC Thunder. Boom, 3 teams. So if you avoid them, and if 2 of them have to face each other because the West is all locked up, y'all go into the Western Conference Finals. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, it's going to be really tough to avoid teams like that. Once again, because this Western Conference is so close together. If you lose 2 games, you're down 3 seeds. If you win 3 games, you're up 3 seeds. So it's not like the Lakers are going to really be able to avoid teams this season. That's not something that can really happen.
That's not true at all, John. Teams duck smoke all the time. Teams duck smoke. They lose games and they sit guys out in the playoffs all the time. We already had this conversation. When the Minnesota Timberwolves bounced Denver, I'm 100% confident that Dallas Maverick team was like, whew, we ain't got to see them dudes.
100%.
Teams duck smoke all the time. So there's no reason for me to think that when we get late into the season and let's say the Dallas Mavericks, they got the fourth seed, and they can have the third seed and end up avoiding Denver. You don't think they're trying to do that? I 100% think that they would do that. Yes. Teams duck smoke all the time.
Chill.
All the time they do that.
Chill. Are you ducking smoke today?
I am not ducking smoke today. Sir.
Okay.
I don't duck smoke.
Because I wanted to have my good friend Jalen Carter come up here and sing you happy birthday.
No.
Oh my God.
Never mind. All right, Chill's ducking smoke today. All right, y'all. But
that's not smoke. That's fire.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe's not ducking smoke; he's ducking fire. So I guess so. But
I'm up here and sing me happy birthday. He did it last year. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
It was all right. It was all right. But all right, y'all know the drill. Like the video, subscribe, continue to go in the comment section. Y'all see the title of the show: Anthony Davis versus Victor Wembanyama. Who's the greater NBA player, or who's the better NBA player? Who's really mixing up words like that? Either way it goes, we about to get into this versus right now. I can't wait. Before we get into it, these are the categories so you guys know what you're getting ahead of time. Athleticism, perimeter defense, post defense, rim protection / defensive anchor, handles, post scoring, 3-point shooting, mid-range scoring, rebounding, finishing, efficiency, passing, IQ, and then ultimately, who's just a better player. I'm excited to get into this because we've had a lot of dialogue over the last month or so with who's better between these guys. So we'll see between the Gen Zers and the delusional Lakers fans how we're able to balance this out. But before we do this, you guys know the drill, like I said. This show is brought to you by PrizePicks, where you can run your game, control your game, and win your game. When you play $50 or when you play $5, you get 50 instantly. I mean, you can play 50 and get 50 back too, but all you got to do is play 5 and you'll get 50 back instantly. And this is a smooth move because, well, downloading the PrizePicks app is a smooth move. All you got to do is, well, download the app, use promo code panel, and after you do that, you find your favorite player, whether you are a lowly Wizards fan, they got Jordan Poole player projections, whether you are a sad puppy up in Toronto, you could choose Scotty Barnes or Grady's or Jacopoto, somebody over there. And
hoorah!
Jacopoto.
It's Pirtle, bro.
Oh my God.
Well, anyways, you could choose him and you can choose his rebounds or how many free throws you think he'll make or whatever. But either way it goes, whatever you're looking for, PrizePicks has something special just for you. And when I say special, I mean like next Monday for the national championship, Notre Dame versus Ohio State, they got things like this where Will Howard, Ohio State's starting star quarterback, all he has to do is throw for a yard and, well, you win.
You know, with that boy Jeremiah Smith, it's gonna be easy.
Exactly. See, John D's locked in, and I need you guys to lock in too. And in case you don't know exactly how to lock in, let me show you how to lock in. Last night, ironically, we weren't locked in, but today's a different day, and we'll make it happen. Chilltown, you were the only one to hit yesterday, even though. You had a Taco Tuesday pick, so it's kind of like
Shaden Sharp over. No,
I changed it to Ben Simmons.
Are you saying, Ron? You gave me a layup, Ron. Is that what you gave me? You gave me a layup.
It was a birthday pick for real.
Ben Simmons played well. Had a good game, won the game, but he just didn't.
If you saw me in the chat, I was saying Donovan Mitchell bounce back game. I saw that coming.
Shout out to Donovan Mitchell bounce back game.
Definitely shout out to Donovan Mitchell. As of right now, Chill, you are 10-14. Ox, me and you are both 9-15. And Mars, you got a little catching up to do, buddy. You're 6-18.
I'm 1-1 because K didn't grab rebounds against New York.
1-2. You made 2 picks that day.
No, I didn't. What's the second pick I made? I didn't make your pick.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. You handed me your loss. That's an
You told me to do Valanciunas blocks.
I told you not to do Valanciunas blocks.
I
specifically said he has gotten 0 blocks in 19 games.
Pen, I never see your
and then
Jordan
you also
right,
told us he got 5 blocks in the game. So everyone was like,
you told us he got 5 blocks in the game. I was going to leave that out before people lost their damn minds.
You told Ron to take it. I remember.
Yeah,
man, you are an S tier gaslighter, Mars. That's 3 times.
I'm just telling you, man.
3 times in 30 minutes, yo.
Let's get into it though. And yeah, Mars, you are going at a historical pace right now. Let's keep it up. But let's get into it. Big Ox, what you want to do first? How you want to kick us off?
Can't hear you, big fella.
But we know you said OG and an OBPRA. Like, we know that's what you said. So
that's hilarious.
I was just saying how, man, Giannis was so close last night. So close. Couldn't get it done. But
what number you had him on, Ox? With Giannis?
It was at, I think it was 59, and he had 57.
Oh,
yeah.
So close, Giannis. But it's all right though.
He did have a triple double. Yeah, he was close. He just needed like a few more points. Bum.
Yeah. So I mean, might as well just get straight to it, y'all.
Barkley better.
Facts. Barkley would have got them rebounds or something.
I mean, Barkley for sure to hit that PRA. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Barkley would have had 35, 14, and 14. Sure.
Yeah, so you act like that's something Charles Barkley ain't never done.
No, the only reason I'm tight is
I don't think he has ever done that.
If y'all would have put up a fight, Giannis would have hit his.
Ron, did you watch the game?
It was no game to watch.
All right, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
you
will
look.
Was you watching the Kings hoping Giannis was cooking?
I mean, yeah, I don't, because you can cook in a losing effort, Mars.
Yeah, okay. I was just. Okay.
But so my thing was this: they beat the dog out of us in that first quarter. I mean, it was crazy. The thing about basketball is
40 to 20.
It's the thing about basketball is it's a make or miss game, and it wasn't like they were playing crazy defense and we were playing bad defense. They were hitting some crazy shots. I mean, really good shots. Their shots were falling and ours wasn't, and they were beating the hell out of us. But after that first quarter, I mean, we really fought, but it was just too much of a holdup to come out of. You know what I'm saying? You get beat like that in the first quarter, bro. That shit was ugly.
That lineup didn't help either.
In Barkley's only 14 assist game, he would have had 58 PRA, so he wouldn't have hit.
Oh, so he would have one more. He would have one more than Giannis. Giannis had 57.
Yeah, he would have been close, but he wasn't.
Yeah, so Barkley clears.
Y'all, let's get through this right quick though. Ox, who you rocking with?
What do you mean? Am I rocking with?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they lowered his PRA to 20 and a half after he's been selling us for the last 2 weeks. Thank you, PrizePicks. Appreciate it.
It hasn't been 2 weeks. Well, maybe I don't know how many weeks it's been, but he only sold us that game. The game before that, OG took care of business.
I would dig in these receipts. OG
I was just looking at it the other day. OG came through the time
against the
Raptors.
Raptors. Against the Raptors, right. He came through.
Big Mars, what you got for us?
Jalen Green less.
Oh, he's biting.
Oh, you doubling down on that, huh? Okay.
This is a quadruple down at this point.
I'm doubling down on something too, and I know Lester went ballistic last night. But he's not shedding his title this quick. It's back-to-back nights, and he's playing against the Houston Rockets defense. You know what that means. You know who's guarding him.
He has 19 and a half points.
Damn.
Bro, he had 45
because they know who's guarding,
right?
But
what if he's on a heater right now?
He's about to have like 20.
So wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Ron, what you want me to do?
Hold on. Go down a little bit.
No way they set him at 19 and a half. That's crazy.
I don't know, Ron.
Y'all,
maybe less on the PRA. Less on the
thinking of PRA, but I might be thinking points and rebounds too. What y'all think?
I'll go less on the PRA.
Whatever you put less is gonna hit because Houston locking him up today. So it don't make a difference to me.
Yeah, bro. I think it's less on his PRA unless he just has a monster rebound game.
Jamal Murray can come out and get 7-8 assists though. That's why I don't want the assist to be. I know he's scoring 14 points. I know he's doing that. I just can't
take the less on the points.
Or Ron, or you could just take the more on the points.
If I do that, give me the demon. Because, like, I'm telling you, Leicester's either getting 14 or 34. It's no in between. But what's the demon? Just to see.
For like 27.
His
demon is one more point than just Jalen Green's regular.
You know what? Just because they pissed me off with that, go less with the PRA.
You know what I'm saying? Just interesting.
Thank you, Leicester. Chill.
Let me see that Atlanta game, Ron.
Chill. I know where you're going with this. Smart man.
Mm-hmm. Let me see what Trey assists look like.
He only had 5 last night.
Mm-hmm.
But what else did he have?
43.
A win and 43 points.
Okay, he got 12 assists. Yeah.
I'm taking them more over that.
More than 12 assists?
Chicago against the Bulls defense? Yeah.
Yes, I'm taking them more on that one.
Lonzo is looking better and better, by the way. I'm just putting out there.
He started the other night.
We're getting our legs up under us. Once you start shooting the 3 consistently, get back to 40%, you're going to be back.
All right. This turns 20 into 200. We're going to go ahead and send this through. And tomorrow we will be here to brag and boast all about OG Anunoby going less on his PRA of 20.5. Jalen Green going more on his 23.5 points. Jamal Murray going more on his 28.5 PRA. And Trae Young going less on his 12 assists.
So Ron thinks
I'm gonna give you just a question that you might want to ask yourself. Scotty Barnes has been going crazy at point without Emmanuel Quickly. IQ ain't playing tonight. Boston plays.
Damn, he was gonna give people the knowledge.
Yo.
Oh no, what happened to Penn?
Wi-Fi?
That's crazy. He was gonna give people knowledge. People are gonna put Scotty Barnes on that pick. So they was
Can we get him back? What happened to him?
Let me text him. I'm gonna shoot him a text.
This is disgusting.
Well, anyways, while we're waiting for Penn to phone back home, we have Anthony Davis versus Victor Wembanyama. This should be a good one, y'all, right?
Penn, I'd throw a protest, by the way, if I was you. Like, I'd be so crazy.
You can't protest against a dictator. Off with your head.
You can't. That's exactly what's going to happen. Seize him. Seize him.
Oh no!
Nobody's gonna get seized.
You want to lose money? Listen to Ron. You want to make money? You listen to me. Okay.
The last thing I heard, Penn, was Scotty Barnes has been going crazy lately. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Can we continue that, please? As you were saying.
So Scotty is he's going to be playing effectively. He's going to be playing point guard against a team that takes a lot of threes, a lot of transition. You know, he is top 15 in the league in potential assists per game. It's just his teammates don't hit shots. He's averaging over 13 potential assists per game, but he's only getting 6.5 assists. So when
what the hell?
Yo,
hey, Ron, stop!
Let him cook, Ron.
Please.
We will. If you don't let him cook, we will all boycott. Right, guys?
Not me.
Yo, stand with Penn. All of us. We will all boycott, Ron. Don't do that shit again.
All right, you know what?
Mars, if you do it again,
as you were saying,
Mars. We're out
playing point guard. That's what I heard last, Penn. Playing point guard.
What I'm saying is, you know, it's a make or miss league, right? Yep. So if your teammates hit their shots, if your teammates brick layups, you're not going to get assists. So unfortunately, the way these parlays work, you're going to get assists only. You're going to get the over on assists only if the guys hit shots. So really, depending on whether you think that Scotty is going to have teammates that make shots tonight, he's going to be handling the ball a lot because his starting point guard tonight is probably going to be Davion Mitchell, which means Scotty's going to initiate the ball a lot. It's when IQ plays that Scotty takes less of an initiation role and those assists go down. So I'm just saying, I don't know what the over-under was on assists for Scotty, but Scotty's probably hitting that assist mark today.
All right.
Thank you for the insight.
Sure about that?
Thank you, Penn. Appreciate it, bro.
I am 47% sure, but I'm 100% sure that it is a more informed opinion than
what. And you said for his assist, Penn?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? I'm just curious.
I'm about to find out right now.
Is it? I'm a guess. Let me guess. 6.5, 5.5.
I was on
5.5.
His PRA is 33.5.
His demon's 7.5.
Take the more.
Oh, it's too late for that. I already submitted.
Mars, I have to admit, Mars, that if if he was 62% sure, I'd be on board. But I don't know if I'm feeling him being 47% sure.
Yeah,
if he was like
47 is concerning because that means he's 53% not sure.
Yeah,
You know what?
if he was like 62
you know what? You gotta share your screen.
3, I would be good with that.
Nah. Penn talking about he making us money. Big Ox, share the screen again.
I'm not trying to make you money. I'm trying to make the chat money, bro.
I'm a part of the chat. Look,
I stand.
After you banished me, I might as well make another troll. Cade 6 rebound. That was bad. That was bad.
That's me right there.
No,
that's the second time Cade has sold on rebounds. I had him getting rebounds against the Nets. That shit ain't him. But
all right, Penn, you have 3 picks.
What?
Penn gets his own.
Yeah. I'm trying. We're trying to get to the bag, right? Right, chat?
We are trying to get to the bag. Yes, we are.
Right. Hold on, wait, Ron. Before I make these picks, what's my percentage? What's my cut?
You get 100% of it.
What's my cut?
That's the only way this is getting sent through, John D.
Yeah, you get 100% of it.
All right, for sure. Come on, Penn.
Oh no, go ahead.
Hey, Penn, you know what to do.
Yeah, you know what
Okay.
to do.
You ain't getting none of this.
Okay. Over on 3 points made.
Okay.
0.5.
On the Goblin?
He ain't making no money from this. Let him take the Goblin. What the hell?
What is
you can only take one Scotty Barnes.
Goblin is like the easiest one, so like it will have like Steph
shoot.
Curry's 3-point made at like 2, for example.
But once again, you could.
It's like a guarantee, basically.
You can only do Scotty Barnes, one bet for Scotty Barnes, one pick.
Okay, so take that off and go with the 6.5 assists or 5.5 assists, whatever it is.
Okay,
be safe.
The Demon's 7.5.
Stop chasing your 1 to 58 payouts and just go for something secure. I mean, I'm not saying
5.5. You said the 5.5 assists.
Yeah.
Like that.
The thing about it is, Penn, I got rent to pay. To pay.
You don't think Scotty Barnes?
Okay, but if you bet $20 and you make 0, your rent ain't getting paid. But if you bet $20 and you get 80,
hold on, my rent's getting paid.
$0, Ben.
It's this one chick on Instagram, no Penn, that I've been trying.
Hey, Ron.
We'll talk about that offline.
That's despicable, bro. That's despicable, bro.
Anyways, Penn,
check Sam Hauser points.
Sam Hauser, okay, he into
he okay.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone really care about Sam Hauser for him, but
he didn't pop.
What's Peyton Pritchard?
Oh, I see a common trend here.
Peyton is PA.
I'm just picking random white guys.
Oh. Hold on a second. Give my computer a second. Okay.
The Raptors did a really bad job of guarding Peyton Pritchard the last time.
11.5 points more.
Yeah, I'll go more. Yeah,
I'm
referencing that. I'm referencing that quote in my mind from Jaylen Brown in the offseason where he said, when we faced the Detroit Pistons, because he was talking about Detroit as being a bad team last year, we like to let Peyton Pritchard score. So I feel like this is going to be Peyton Pritchard's time to score.
Oh, you guys are the Pistons. Okay.
Right. Basically, right now, we are the Pistons of last year. And
the Pistons, yes, sir.
Bring us home, Penn. We need one more.
Chris Boucher.
Preferably a demon, but obviously we're not trying to turn 1 into 58. So
I mean,
Chris
turn 1
to 5. What is Chris Boucher right now?
Guys averaging 200 over the last 2 games.
You might have to just type in the Raptors.
Actually, hang on. What was the pick y'all made that you were the most sure about in your last bet?
OG.
No, I'm not talking about emotionally sure. I'm talking sensibly sure. Like what?
Yeah, OG. He got 20. His PRA was like 20.5. So
the pick that I was the most sure about was when Jalen Brunson went for 55 on the Washington Wizards. I was convinced that he would not do anything close. Whatever the line was, it was going to be less than that.
I'm 80% sure Jalen Green's going to go less tonight.
Okay. I'm
never sure, Penn. I'll just really do it for the love of the game.
Penn, I can give you some games right now. We got the Knicks and the Sixers, Celtics, Raptors. You obviously know that game.
Embiid's back tonight.
Embiid's back?
Grizzly Spurs.
He wasn't back
last
night against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, because it's a back-to-back. We already know he's not playing back-to-back. So he
Magic Bucks.
So
okay, well, what's Paolo's over?
Okay, here we go. Let's get
now you spitting.
Paolo's a good one.
Rebounds and assists. I would look at that.
You know, Penn. If Franz
take the PRA.
Penn, if Franz was playing, he'd definitely hit his PRA.
Yeah, because Franz is responsible for Paolo.
Wait,
no, I'm talking about Franz would hit his own PRA.
Mars, 4.5 rebounds is super safe for Paolo, right?
It is, yeah, but it's a goblin pick because it's not safe. So
yeah, but it's amplifying.
Barely.
Click on it. See what it. You know, the thing about it is y'all always trying to hit home runs. Penn's just trying to get on base. See, that turns 20 into 70. And since I'm so confident in this, Ox, put 200 on it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Ron, do that. See, Ron, oh my goodness.
Don't do that.
Don't
do that.
We'll live with 20 and 70 because at the end of the day, that means you got $70. That's cool. $70.
Yeah, don't do
that. Y'all really gotta live life on the edge a little more.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
We do, Ox. We make goblin picks. That's enough.
Remember the excitement we had when we thought we were going to win 20? Remember the excitement?
Sensible wins. Okay, it's called winning on the margins, right? So when you look at how Masai Ujiri built the Raptors, what was it? Was it hitting home run picks? Was it getting first overall pick every year?
Yes, it was hitting a home run pick. He went and got Kawhi Leonard.
No, it was.
What are you talking about?
And batting cleanup.
You crazy?
It was getting
from
Fred
Los
Van
Angeles,
Vliet,
California.
Pascal, OG. It was about hitting on those 23rd overall picks, like OG, bro. 27th overall pick.
Did he build from the ground up? No, he went and got Kawhi Leonard. What are you talking about?
So is John D just not going to get part of Penn's ticket? John D is not going to get anything. John D don't get to make one pick.
Sorry, John. Maybe tomorrow.
Hey, it's all good.
But today. This is Penn. Toronto. This is for you. Thank you.
I actually think Penn's gonna go 3 for 3.
I like.
Yeah, I actually really like his picks.
I actually think Penn's gonna go 3 for 3. He definitely thinks about this a bit more logically than I do, but
I think we're gonna go 4 for 4.
I take my emotions out of it, and typically, like, I like to not like what y'all do is y'all always bet on your favorite player, and I like to never bet on my favorite player personally. I took the Scotty assist because Scotty's just going crazy on the assist, but like, yeah, I'm just saying.
My favorite player.
I'm not gonna
you should not bet on your favorite player because like what I said like a few shows ago was you think more logically in your second language, right? Than your first language. If you learn Mandarin later in life, you'll think way more logically in Mandarin than you would in English. So that's what I'm saying. Like you will think way more logically about teams that you're not emotionally invested in. Trust me.
Then you said you're not picking your favorite player, and the first pick you made was Scotty Ball.
Yeah, but notice I didn't. But notice I didn't do what you. But notice I didn't do what you did. Be like, oh, I'm sure. I didn't say.
Don't. I'm not comparing it to me because I'm just
bunting,
bro. Here, bro.
That's kind of the second time that's happened.
Like
in the first 45 minutes of the show.
I'm here for a good time, brother. I'm not really tripping.
Yeah, I think about this a little too much, but yeah.
In other words, E-Word said, surely the panel will hit their picks one day. If we don't,
we can't. We cannot keep losing.
I mean, we can.
We gotta hit one.
We gotta hit one.
This has been a very dramatic show so far. First of all, Chill crashing out on Laker fans and then turning out to be the biggest Laker fan in the world, and then you banishing me and then having me do my own solo segment. That I mean, this is a lot of dramatic turns. You know, you're writing a stage play so far.
It's a good movie.
Just wait.
It's a good movie.
Just wait. We have yet to get to the climax. DSG Piccolo did send through a $20 super chat though, which is fairly interesting. He said, "I'm back after Vietnam. Had fun. Got too drunk one night. I was wilding, but it was a great time and the food was good. I missed a lot of NBA games. Scoot was good last night, but I ain't moved yet. Flag or Harper on the way."
Yeah, he wasn't good last night. He had one of them fake 3-point shooting games. That's what he had.
He wasn't good last night. He went for almost 40. He wasn't good. He was way better than that. Don't shortchange.
Yeah, he had one of them unsustainable games. That's what he had.
I'm sure.
Marshall's blood.
It was a good game. They lost by 200.
Yeah, okay, Moss. He's not going to hit 8 threes in the game again. I doubt that very seriously. I'm not going to lie about
yes,
that.
Yes, he will. Chill.
8 threes.
He might not do it in the next 2 months, but it might take him this time to next year. But he'll do it
8 for 10 at the long ball line. He's gonna shoot 80% at the long ball line.
Today wasn't just a once in a lifetime type of game. Like Scoot Henderson, I keep saying this. I wish we would stop. I said it in the chat last night. I wish we would stop chastising 20-year-olds. Scoot Henderson was in high school 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however long ago it was. Scoot Henderson, like he's developing. We were just talking about Jalen Green yesterday. He's developing. Like, it's hard to go from playing against people your age, high schoolers, to all of a sudden playing against grown men, adjusting to the game. You guys know what the strength difference is? The quickness difference, the athleticism difference, the IQ difference. I go from playing against Kevin Johnson that goes to Franklin High School to playing against LeBron James, who's the best player ever.
Or Kevin Johnson that plays in the NBA.
Quick question. So when we see a lot of young players do things well, do we always diminish it because they're so young? But when we look at a lot of the things that these young players do bad, it's always like, oh, he's young, he'll figure it out. What's the sure fact that they're going to figure it out? Like, what if this is just who the player is? It's
not, and we can acknowledge that they're bad right now with certain things, but we can also still put context into it and say that they're young.
Yeah, I get that. But I feel like when we're looking at young players and we're looking at when we look at them develop, it's just like he's good at this stuff right now because he's young. And then when you say look at the stuff he does bad, is like he's young, he'll figure it out. Why do we do that? Like, why are we so sure that Scoot Henderson is going to figure it out? Because it doesn't look like he's in the best developmental system.
Because we've seen plenty of young guys figure it out. We've seen
plenty of young guys not.
Right. But with us not seeing young guys figure it out, we're leaning toward the side of positivity. I seen John Wall when he first came into the league. He had no idea how to handle the blitz. None whatsoever. When he got blitzed, he immediately retreated, and he's throwing the ball off of his back foot, and he got the ball over his head. He has no idea what to do against the blitz. Well, you fast forward 2-3 years later, now he knows how to navigate the blitz. Now he knows how to split the blitz. He knows how to get off the ball and then get it back. That's kind of the stuff that you develop when you're young and you're understanding the game. Now, sure, there's guys who just will never figure it out. But if you put them in the right situation, they'll be in a situation where they can flourish, like Obi Toppin, for example. Obi Toppin with the Knicks, he looked like he was about to be out the league in the next 2 years. Well, he gets with the Indiana Pacers. What do? They go to his strengths. And what are his strengths? He's great in transition. He's a stop and pop guy. Is he a D and 3 guy? Take the D out because this dude can't cover nobody. Let's be clear about that. So what they do is they put him in space where he can be successful. We've seen these young guys develop when they're put in the right position. The problem is a lot of these young guys are ruined because they're put in bad positions, kind of like quarterbacks in the NFL.
I mean,
he just go to a different situation.
He went to a different situation and developed. He did get better
than he was 3 years ago.
I think he's a better transition player than he was 3 years ago.
Or does he just play on a team that runs fast?
And with him playing on a team that runs fast, I think he's a better transition player. He's a better decision maker in transition than he was in the past.
He's a better lane and dunk.
He's a better shooter. He's a much better.
And I 100% think he's a better long ball shooter than he was 2 years ago.
Yes,
he is. He did not shoot the three like that.
League able to shoot. He's not.
So three like that? I don't think he's the same.
Did you see him at Dayton?
No, I saw him at Dayton. Sure. He couldn't shoot the long ball like that. He couldn't shoot the long ball like he's shooting today, though.
Hey, man, I told you, I thought he was Zion with a 3-point shot when he was coming out of Dayton. That man can shoot. He can shoot.
A lot of my thing, too, is, Chill, I'm glad you brought up quarterbacks because I hate this with the NFL, too. You can't draft a guy straight out of college and just throw him out there to the wolves without trying to develop him. You are either going to literally make him or you're going to absolutely wreck him. And that's what happens with a lot of NBA players. Scoot Henderson probably shouldn't have just got thrown out there with the Wolves. Maybe even the G League. He probably shouldn't have just went out there and got thrown out there with grown men. That might not have been best for him. And I'm obviously saying Scoot, but I'm just saying in general, it's a developmental process, and it takes guys. Some guys got to go through different paths. Some guys it takes longer. Some guys they need to sit back and watch the game. Some guys do need to go out there and play. Some guys need to play behind guys. It's a different path. Chauncey Billups, for instance, his coach. We've seen the path that it took him to end up becoming an NBA starter and a competent NBA player, and eventually becoming an all-star. It's not like this microwave era, we just expect guys to be good instantly, and that's just not true. It doesn't happen like that.
It's not. I'm not saying he almost has to come out and be good, but with the talent pool of point guards all around the league, with what Scoot has shown so far, who's going to take a flyer on him and be like, you know what? I still believe in Scoot. Let's build our team around him.
The Portland Trailblazers. You drafted him, develop him. You drafted him knowing who he was as a player, drafted him knowing his flaws, drafted him knowing that it's because you got to draft him expecting the best, but preparing for the worst. So it might be a 5-6 year process. Okay, so now you got him.
Or maybe not even that.
Develop him
3 or 4 years. Maybe.
So if they get the second pick in the draft, they're skipping out on Dylan Harper because they have Scoot.
They can play together. Dylan Harper 6'4".
He's
Dylan Harper 6'4". Scoot Henderson was playing with Malcolm Brogdon last year. He's playing with Anthony Simons right now. Dylan Harper's bigger and I'm not gonna say better, but bigger and a better playmaker than Anthony Simons. They can play together. 2 point guards can absolutely play together.
I don't know if I would love it, but
you're not maximizing either one of them by doing that.
Then don't draft them. Then I'm just saying that they can play. I'm not. He asked me. Do you miss out on him? I'm saying if he's absolutely your sure shot pick that you want to grab, don't let Scoot deter you from doing that. But at the same time, like, still develop Scoot. I mean,
you draft him either way, and then if it is the way y'all say it is, then Scoot ends up being the backup point guard. Then that's not a bad thing.
It's not, but I'm just saying, like,
that's not a bad thing. If you keep developing Scoot and then Harper ends up being better than him, it's a win-win. Like you are, because you've already made this pick. You already got Scoot. Unless somebody else has some value for him and you could trade him and make a move, just like how we had De'Aaron and Tyrese. If you could trade him and make a move, which I'm not sure what his value is around the league, then that's great. Or you have a backup point guard that's been in your system for multiple years, and you're good now. Now you got Dylan Harper running your point guard. That's not a bad situation to be in. Or to Ron's point, they can figure out a way to play together. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all are down on Chauncey, but he really doesn't have the personnel to, you know what I'm saying, to really be out here winning games as if they're trying to win games anyway. So
y'all act like Darius Garland and Colin Sexton didn't play together. I'm not before y'all jump out of the screen. Obviously, it wasn't the best experience, but it was them both going out there and learning how to play basketball. Like that happens more than not.
Is Portland going to make Is Portland going to make moves this trade deadline, or are they just waiting? Like, is Anthony? Is Anthony gone? Anthony Simons, is he gone? Is the big fella gone?
I don't think Aiton's gone. I don't think there's a big
okay. Who was the other? Oh, Jeremy Grant.
Rob Williams will probably be gone. Jeremy Grant, maybe if they can get off his contract. Anthony Simons, I'd like to think would be gone, but I don't know. But I do think they'll be active in terms of just getting those type of players off the team.
Right. I don't understand how people in the chat are saying that he needs a guard that he can learn from when he's literally getting coached by Chauncey Billups. Like, I know. The thing about it is, y'all, we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors or at practices or in film sessions and all like that. We don't really know what Scoot is learning. You know what I'm saying? When you got a point guard like Chauncey, these point guard coaches, I would assume, you know what I'm saying, that they're learning. You know what I mean? And I don't understand how we can just write Chauncey off as a bad coach right now. I think we need to let some of his young players develop and him get a competent team before we can really make that.
Because developing doesn't work, Ox. That's why. Because we live in it right now. If when you come into the league, if you're not awesome if you're not awesome right now, this thing doesn't work, and we need to fire everybody. Not realizing.
Scoot started his game last night 9 for 10.
He had missed one shot to start the game.
Mm-hmm. He hit 9 of his first 10 shots yesterday.
I'm not necessarily saying that they need to come out and be I'm not saying that they need to come out and be fantastic off rip, but I'm saying, like, if you're the Blazers, how much longer are you willing to develop him if you're put in a situation where you may be able to get somebody else? So it's like, I'm not against developing players. I get it. But if he's not showing anything to be like, we're going to stick with him, and they get in the draft and they have a chance to draft Dylan Harper, how much longer?
You draft Dylan Harper. There's not a cap on how many players you can develop. You can draft Dylan Harper and still develop Scoot Henderson. You know what I'm saying? And Scoot Henderson, just because he was a third pick, doesn't have to be your franchise point guard. You know what I'm saying? He can, like I said, he can be your backup point guard. You can have 2 point guards. Dylan Harper can start and continue to develop, and Scoot can come off the bench and continue to develop. All right, is there a cap on development now, or what's going on?
No, we live in a society right now where we write off rookies 20 games into their career, right? And I love what Real Talk said yesterday. I was listening, and he said, you know, what other profession do we cap off somebody at 22 and say this is who they are, right? 21, 22 is very young. And to the speaking of the point of development, I feel like a lot of people talk about development. I'm not sure how many people have actually developed anything in their lives to know how difficult and how unrelenting and sort of how bumpy that process can be. You can go backwards for a year before you go forwards, right? But going backwards ain't always bad. It's just moving. It's reps, right? I listened to DeJounte Murray talk about, you know, being a rookie in San Antonio and not getting PT in his first year. And he was just like, yo, I just asked for the keys to the gym. Grind, turn himself into an all-star, right? So there's a lot of players like that. Dyson Daniels. I mean, some of us saw what Dyson was becoming in those limited minutes, but most people were just like, that's not a lottery pick. 8th overall pick, can't do this, can't do that, can't self-generate, can't shoot. And it's like, well, look at him now. Oh yeah, he's 22, by the way. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, even with the Jalen Green stuff, the Cade Cunningham stuff, I think Paolo, Franz, Scotty, there's like so many young players in the league right now. And Scoot is one of them, right? And Scoot is phenomenally talented. And people really want to dissect all of his, you know, shortcomings. And there are plenty. It's fair criticism. Does he finish above the rim? Well, no. Is he processing the game at a super high level for the first year and a half of his career? No. But we've seen guards struggle early. De'Aaron Fox struggled hard as a rookie. Darius Garland struggled. You know, there's a lot.
And what about to your point, Penn? I want you to keep going. What about his coach? He was cut by Orlando when he was traded. He was cut.
He was
the third pick, by the way. Chauncey Billups was the third pick in the draft. He was cut by Orlando.
Did you happen to catch Vince Carter's jersey? Hall of Fame enshrinement, like when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw some of it. Sure.
It was very interesting because right as he was being inducted to the Hall of Fame, there were a couple people who met him, his cousin Tracy McGrady and Chauncey Billups, and they had a really funny moment where they realized they could have all been teammates, but the Raptors moved off of him. Rick Pitino moved off of Chauncey Billups. He was a 3rd overall pick in that draft.
In the middle of the season.
Overall pick. Middle of the season, that impulsive ass mofo moved off of him because people don't want to see things through. Rick Pitino struck me as a guy who drank 18 espressos every morning and just, you know, that's just who he was, right? He's just, if it doesn't work, boom, change it. What people don't realize sometimes is continuity actually helps, right? Last year, I watched Ochai Baji, former lottery pick out of Kansas, national title winner, was a hell of a player at Kansas, got better every year. But 2 years into his career, after being a lottery pick, he was really staring down the barrel of China. I'm not kidding. Like, this guy was bad. And then he gets to Toronto, and he's even worse than he was in Utah. This year, what is he? Damn.
Really? He looks
he's great. Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's blocking shots at the rim. He's one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the league. And it's like, how did that happen? Right? Last year, Grady Dick, he's another lottery pick, 13th overall pick, really struggles with the size and the physicality of the NBA, getting hunted defensively, still getting hunted defensively, can't make a shot to save his life. This is a dude who was brought in to shoot, and he can't shoot. Goes to the G League, and guess what? Gets cooked in the G League. People are out on this dude. Out. And what? To start this season, what did he do against the Lakers? And put up 30 points against the Lakers. Like people were talking about him in MIP conversations, although I think that's very premature and it's never going to go to a second-year player. What I'm saying is you got to be patient with these players. And up until about the age of 25, 26, I think you still need to have some patience. But to speak on, Darko Rajakovic and the Raptors coaching staff and just generally how this coaching staff has approached development, they don't look at a 31-year-old Chris Boucher and says, you're done. They don't look at 31-year-olds and say, that's who you are. They look at a 31-year-old and say, let's try something new. Let's see if we can untap this thing in you. And I think our beliefs shape our reality. So I'm gonna say this: there's no cap on when you can get better to. Like at some point, Father Time will tell you that it's time to hang him up and you cannot play anymore. I understand that. But I'm saying elements of your game can continue to get better. I watch DeMar DeRozan every year become a better isolation scorer. He's in his damn near mid-30s right now, still one of the best pull-up jump shooters in the league right now. I saw him get better as a three-point shooter in Toronto late. I saw him become a way better passer in San Antonio. He was in his late 20s. So what would have happened if someone wrote DeMar DeRozan off after year 2? You know what I mean? So we need to be a little bit more patient, especially when you identify a kid who cares about the game and actually puts in the reps. You find me a kid who has natural talent, good basketball IQ, sufficient physical advantages, not dominant physical advantages, but sufficient physical advantages to succeed in the NBA level. And you find me a kid who is in the right system with the right people around him. He surrounds himself with the right trainer, the right nutritionist. He takes care of his body, which means I'm out on Zion. But you find me a kid like that, I'm going to bet long that kid's going to be good.
I don't know. My whole viewpoint on it was just, I don't think just because they're young doesn't mean they're always going to get better. There's a possibility where this may be who he is. That's the only, because it's like we tend to look at people's experience and be
John D,
like,
how old are you?
He's just going to get
how
better.
Old are you? How old 22. Are you? You're 23. 22. Okay, 22. Cool. So if I watch your podcast at 22 and said this is just who you are, but I mean, like, yo, I'm seeing your growth. I've been seeing your growth since the PCL till today, and it's like, damn, you have gotten exponent. I would say your growth rate is faster than anybody else's on this panel. I'm telling you straight up. You went from a wild card to a semi-regular on the panel. I watched your work with Mars. I've watched your work on the panel, and I'm seeing like week by week jumps where maybe before you were a little bit timid, you didn't speak up enough. Now you're speaking up more. Now you're pushing back more. You know what I mean? Like it's
you the best team. I'll be in the gym. I'll be in the gym all day.
For real.
You the best. You the best teammate Mars has ever had. Who would have thought that going into it? You know,
I haven't had.
So that's what I'm saying. But if I judge you at 22 or 21,
this is the first time in my career.
Right? So that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm trolling. Shout out to my guy Dream, man. Shout out to my guy Dream. I'm trolling. Sorry.
So yeah, so all I'm saying is like give Scoot some time. Like I've listened to
starts with these.
I've listened to Scoot talk at length about his process, what he cares about. People show you who they are, believe them. Right? That old Maya Angelou quote. I think about it every day. When people show you who they are, believe them. Even when they're struggling, even when they're in the G League, even when they get pushed out of the league and then come back. One guy that I used to really believe in was Anthony Parker. I remember Anthony Parker in Philly, and he just had a bad situation. He was behind Jerry Stackhouse. He was behind, I think it was Aaron McKee, Allen Iverson. There's a lot of dudes ahead of him. Was Larry Hughes? I don't remember. There's a lot of, no, maybe not Larry Hughes, but like there were a lot of dudes ahead of him. He goes over to Europe, wins EuroLeague MVP, comes back, redeems his NBA career. He was balling at Maccabi Tel Aviv. So what I'm saying is, you know, it's the persistence over time. There's just certain people you don't bet against. Derek White, I'm sure someone saw that dude, I don't know where he was in JUCO or D2, and just was like, damn. Jonathan Mobo is a great example. This dude bounced around. He was what, 5'9" when he was a high school senior, or 5'10", and he grew to 6'6". He's matured into his new body, taking all those point guard skills, and it took him a little while. You know, he's playing over in a lesser conference, according to some people, beast in that conference. And now, you know, Jamal Shed, that's a great example. Jamal Shed, how many threes did Jamal Shed hit in college? Winningest player in college basketball, though. I trust that. Gives a shit about the game. I trust that. So it's like, you know, I think Masai Ujiri, specifically the Raptors GM, President Masai Ujiri, he talks a lot about understanding the person, understanding the ticker. We all know there's players who won't give a shit. They're doing their time. They're like, what time's practice?
Plenty of guys that don't care.
When am I there? 9:59. Yeah. But there's other dudes where, like Russell Westbrook is a great example of a dude where practice at 7, he's there at 5. How are you betting against that dude? I don't bet against that dude.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. it is officially that time to go ahead and get into it. We got Anthony Davis versus Victor Wembanyama. Let's make it happen. Actually, y'all, I got to read 2 more super chats because I got a $10 super chat from Macho Man 124. He said, "Who do y'all think is the greatest prospect ever?"
Wemby.
Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's close. You got Kareem, Wilt, but I got
Shaq.
Wemby. Oh, Shaq for sure. Kareem, Wilt, Shaq, Bron, and then Wemby is like the main contenders in my opinion. But I got Wemby.
This is not who's going to be the best. This is just who was the best prospect coming into the draft for the people in the chat. Because when we talk about prospects and I say one guy was a better prospect than the other, but the other guy had the better career, people are going to be like, oh, he's hating. No, this is who was
I'm not looking at what they became, like, because you have to imagine they're all draft prospects and you can't see what they become. It's just as they were coming into the NBA, who was the best prospect?
Y'all would have drafted Wemby. Y'all would have drafted Wemby over LeBron James.
I wouldn't have thought twice.
I said that during Wemby's draft cycle.
Now remember, now remember what we're talking about, which is what I'm going back with Mars. Now Mars, there's still, even though we live in a time today where Giannis and Joker and Embiid, the foreign player is a big deal. Back in 1992, it was a big man league, and what Shaq was doing in college, he was the next coming of Jabbar, of Chamberlain. He was that guy. He was the guy who was going to turn around a franchise and you're going to win a bunch of championships with him. He was the guy who was going to turn. He was the guy who was going to be the next coming of the next big man, of the next generation of big man. Everything that he did, handling the basketball, playing in transition, how strong he was. When he was coming out of college, he was the best big man. He was the best big man in the country, and he was almost a can't miss. Almost a can't miss. I'm thinking about Wemby, and I can appreciate your logic, Mars, about Wemby in terms of his prospect. But there's still some people who still have this tag about the Euro. They still have issues about what the Euro is. He might be a little bit soft. Is his game going to translate to the NBA? It's dumb stuff like that. That there's still people who think about the Euro like that, as opposed to in 1992 when Shaq is coming out, Olajuwon's in the league. David Robinson's in the league. Lonzo Mourning is also coming out in the draft. Jabbar had just retired out a couple of years ago. And the transition to the next great big man, this was the guy. And it wasn't a question that this was going to be the guy.
The candidates for this clearly are Wilt Chamberlain, 100%. Wilt, Shaq, David Robinson,
Kareem,
Jabbar, definitely.
Magic. Magic was up there.
Magic did have a great collegiate.
He played 2 years at Michigan State.
And a great prospect, but I feel like there's a level difference between like the Kareems and the Wilts. Then we get to Magic.
No, Magic is 100% in this.
No, it's not. The reason why.
2 days.
6'9" point guard.
Hang on.
But look, definitely. He wasn't Kareem. None of these dudes was Kareem. None of these dudes was Kareem. But what I'm saying is, like, don't forget about those dudes. But I'm just gonna speak on Bron because I was there for the Bron thing. You know what I'm saying? I was there for the Bron thing and seeing Bron. You know what I'm saying? And it was different because Bron, 6'8", fastest dude on the court, and got he had everything. He had everything except for a knockdown 3-ball. You know what I'm saying? He had everything. Now, I don't want to get into the Euro is soft thing because I never subscribe to that.
Neither.
You know what I'm saying? I never.
You did hear it though, Ox. You did hear it.
Heard
it.
We heard it for sure, but I never subscribed to that. But my thing with Wemby is the questionable things for me was, he dribbles a lot. Is it a loose handle? Can you get under that? You know what I'm saying? Certain things. Is he strong enough to play on the block? I wasn't bought into the jump shot at that time. I'm just talking about at the time, as a prospect. These are the things I'm concerned about. Obviously, he's a freak. He's a freak in nature. He's super talented, can do pretty much all the things on the court. But I'm not saying it's soft, but I'm like, what can he do on the block? He looks light in the hindquarters. His arms are so long. He's dribbling kind of loose. How sustainable is that, him in the open court? These are the things I was concerned about with Victor Wembanyama. When it comes to LeBron James, I didn't have any questions. it was, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, he might not be able to develop that jump shot, but he can pass the ball. He's super fast. You can't stay in front of him. He's super athletic. He's jumping over everything. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was gonna steal. I didn't know when I was 11 years old that he was still gonna be doing this when I was 34. You know what I'm saying? So I did not see that happening. But so crazy. But what I'm saying is, like, as a prospect coming out, we all seen Bron at what's the school? Vincent St. Mary's or whatever.
Vincent St. Mary's, yeah.
Vincent St. Mary's. We seen that shit, and it was like, bro, like, come on.
And remember
man,
too,
like,
as
far as prospects for me, Victor Wembanyama ain't on the same tier as LeBron James. For me,
I don't know. You gotta the way we've never seen a 7-foot athlete move like Victor Wembanyama.
Actually, we have. Yes, we have. 100%. I saw him.
Ralph
his name's Ralph
Sampson.
Yeah, his name's Ralph Sampson.
I just don't think. I think even if Victor Wembanyama ended up being a complete bust, like unplayable, I still don't think you're wrong for that pick. I still don't think you're wrong for that. It's like when people say the Clippers shouldn't have traded for PG and Kawhi. I don't think in the moment that was a bad trade. Just like if Wemby just turned out to be a bust, I don't think that's a bad pick at the time.
I think
if you don't do that trade, Ox, you fired. You're
fired.
fired.
I hate when people say that because SGA showed he had game. But if any six of y'all wouldn't have made that trade, you were on the first thing smoking, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. You would deserve to get fired if you don't make that trade. In hindsight,
just like if they didn't draft Wemby, they'd be fired. They wouldn't have. Wouldn't have made it out the draft.
John, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I'm not saying
somebody other than
there was a moment there. Now, Mars, it was a moment of weakness, Mars, where I did say, who knows? Maybe Scoot might be better.
Well, they were hyping Scoot too, though. Remember, they were saying Scoot would be the number one overall pick, and
Scoot would be the rookie of the year.
Team play the G League Ignite. And then Wemby gave him 37 and 5 threes and fading corner threes and all that nonsense.
Scoot got busy one of them games too. Didn't he have like 33 and
he had some
10 or something like that?
I think
but you had to draft Wemby.
I don't think there's a wrong. Well, okay, I do think there is a wrong answer. But I don't think like LeBron being an answer is the wrong answer. I don't think Kareem being the answer is a wrong answer. I don't think Wilt being an answer is a wrong answer. Same with Shaq. I think those five, in my opinion.
Do you think Bill Walton is a wrong answer?
Huh?
Do you think Bill Walton is a wrong
coming
answer?
out of UCLA? I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's a bad answer.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like we have this weird timeline thing where we try to blur what happened with what was, and most of us were not alive when Bill Walton was drafted, so we don't remember what was being said. So it's very important to go back and read the articles from.
I know what was being
about
said
what was said.
He came in after Kareem did at UCLA. I
exactly. So I think if we're talking greatest prospects of all time, for real, I have to put Yao Ming into this as well. Has to be there. There was no question he was going number one, and Jason Williams was a very, very, very good prospect. So I'm gonna say LeBron number one for sure, Wemby number two for sure. After that is negotiable between a lot of dudes. I'm inclined to say Kareem number three, Shaq number four, and honestly, somewhere between Bill Walton and Greg Oden for number five. Like
Greg Oden was very underrated. I wouldn't say
it's not talking.
Okay, Anthony Davis also deserves it.
Right? Did you feel that way, Vin? Right. So, you're telling me in 2007, you thought Greg Oden was overrated.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
I thought he was.
I'm gonna tell you why I thought Greg Oden was overrated, and I didn't really like him that much. He just didn't have enough on the block for me. He ain't have that pop, pump fake, fadeaways, and stuff like that.
He wasn't offensively inclined enough.
Yeah. And that was my thing. Like, it was like, yeah, you might be dominant in the paint, you're blocking shots, you're dunking on people and stuff like that, but you're not Shaq. So I'm not expecting you to come in the league and just drag everybody. You're not giving me enough of that dominance. So you're gonna need some skills. Joel Embiid, for instance, he's stepping out, hitting the mid-range jumper. He taking two dribbles, pump faking up and under.
That's prospect in
Kansas. But wait a second.
I'm not comparing them at practice. I'm not comparing them as prospects. I'm just saying
because Greg Oden at Ohio clears
Jahlil Okafor
rim running role. That's what he was doing.
Jahlil Okafor, for instance, I was higher than him than I was on Greg Oden, and it was simply because on the block, he giving you work.
Ron is just working up the courage to tell you he was a Hashim Thabit believer.
I think we
were you?
But Jahlil Okafor was like that though.
Yeah.
You know what? This is really bugging me. And I got to get to the bottom of this. How the hell are y'all telling me that Victor Wembanyama was a better prospect than Shaquille O'Neal?
Because for me,
just the sheer dominance. Like I'm just curious about this.
As the person up here who's saying I think Wemby's the best prospect ever, I think it's like Wemby's like I viewed him as like a canvas with like unlimited possibilities. Like there was just
would you be saying this if he busted right now? Would you be saying this if he was super hard struggling? Yeah. Would you be saying this if he'd gotten injured in his first year and he missed the entire season like Chet? Would you be saying this?
And this is the beauty of me being here for nearly 3 years now. I said it during the draft process. He's the best prospect ever. Like before he got drafted, I was saying this is the best because I was watching him in France. I was actively pursuing watching his games. I was saying he was a better prospect than LeBron while he was still playing in France. I was saying this is the best prospect ever while he was still playing in France. So if I'm trying to not jinx anything. If he got hurt and his career ended, I still would have said the same thing because as a prospect, it was unlimited opportunity. It was you got a 7'4" guy who's going to come in and be a monster on defense instantly. Great shot blocking instincts, great rim protection instincts, but also the physical tools to be the best rim protector in the NBA from day one. That's what I was saying is the floor for him. If the offense never comes along, you've got a defensive player of the year candidate. You guys, Chill was here, Ox was here. You guys can remember. I was saying this guy was going to lead the league in blocks from year one. He's going to be an all defensive player from year one. I said that. Offensively, there's unlimited possibilities. We've seen flashes of passing potential, the ability to make some reads and see over the top of defenses. There's signs here that if you develop this, he can be one of the best passing bigs, despite the fact that the accuracy was sometimes off, the delivery was sometimes off. But you could see there was something there that if you honed in on this, he could be a really good passer. The shot making ability, that goes without saying, the ability to make one-legged threes, the ability to make step back threes, the comfortability shooting those shots. The percentages didn't indicate it, but you could look at it and be like, he's a good free throw shooter. In France, he was a good catch and shoot guy. I think he was shooting like 40% on catch and shoot threes in France. But the off the dribble stuff was more of a pipe dream. He shot like 24% on off the dribble threes. But the flashes of it was like, if we can hone in on this with the touch he already possesses, there's potential here. The ball handling stuff, it wasn't he's a great ball handler, he can run your offense, but it was at 7'4" and the ability to not create separation but shoot over the top of people, his ability to get to spots on the floor that he wants to. If you can hone in on this, there's nothing you can really do with it. And then it's just
that is separation more. It's just vertical.
Yeah, exactly. He's got separation vertically, not horizontally. So I was looking at all of these things. I'm like, defensively, I already got my floor. He's going to be one of the best defenders from day one. He can be a historic defender. Offensively, there's so many avenues to becoming great. And there's also the potential that he maxes out on all of those categories. To where I was saying he could be the greatest player ever.
Look, I was very high on Wemby too.
That's what I'm saying.
I was very high on Wemby as well. When the Raptors chose to not tank at the deadline and to try to trade for Jakob Poeltl, they were 6th from the bottom. I was like, what are y'all doing?
They wasn't finishing that boy up the candidate's pin. But this is the thing. At what point do you have
San Antonio before Toronto? Are you kidding me? Toronto is a bigger market.
This is American pain. At what point do we take into account
Wemby's not American, Ox?
I didn't. Thanks, Pin. At what point do we take into account like the ability to physically assert your dominance into this? Because at this point we're talking about guys like Bron, Shaq, Wilt, these dudes that could physically assert their dominance into a basketball game.
The guy can take one step at what point line to the free throw line.
I'm talking about physically imposing in the same way.
I'm like I said, I'm talking about the ability to physically. Yeah, but I'm talking about the ability to physically impose your will whenever you want to. Victor Wembanyama cannot do that.
Okay, first of all, physicality is not physics or like being physically on the basketball court is not defined simply to roughing guys up and punching them in the face. Okay,
Who said anything about punching anybody in the face, Pin?
Well,
I'm talking about LeBron James' ability to be 6'8" and just blow by you is physically imposing your will. I'm not talking about running anybody over.
Physically imposing your will, but being a skyscraper and blocking 4.5 shots a game, that's not imposing your will.
Blowing by you and jumping over people, dunking the ball over anybody because you can't stand in front of me because I'm so fast. Were you confused, Pin? Oh Lord, what?
Being pushed.
If I can impose my will because of my physical attributes. That's what I'm talking about.
7'4" for a physical attribute? How's an 8
because
foot
you can't because Victor Wembanyama doesn't have the same thing that Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, and Wilt Chamberlain have. Is what I'm talking about.
They don't have what he has. None of them were 7'4". None of them could shoot threes.
That's cool. I understand that.
So what is it, Ox? Everything has to be set to the barometer of the players you want to support. So
sure,
Wemby's not a great center because he's not as big as because he's not as wide as Shaq. But what about the free throw shooting? What about the 3-point shooting? What about the switchability?
He can't do what Shaq does on the block. He can't do what LeBron could do in the wing. He can't do any of what Wilt Chamberlain can do in the
and they can't do what he can do. You're not addressing that part.
And what exactly is that?
What exactly is that? I don't think that they can switch onto a guard and then get back to the wing in one switch onto the guard on the perimeter and get back to the paint in one step. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can dribble, initiate, pull up, and take a three-pointer. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can come in when they are physically not even ready to
be
be facing up against grown men and dominate grown men the way Wemby has. I think what you need to ask yourself,
wait, what you said? That last part.
He's not dominating?
No. What you just said that last part?
I said
physically dominating.
You said that they didn't have the ability to face up and dominate grown men like
before they had physically matured to the level where Shaquille O'Neal was 245, 250 pounds.
Shaquille O'Neal came into the league physically dominating.
Correct.
LeBron James came into the league physically dominating.
That's what made him such a great prospect.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that at some point, look, Victor Wembanyama is not going to be skinny forever. I'm going to say that right now.
Maybe he will be. I don't know.
Some people just have a slimmer frame.
I think he got that kind of frame, Pin. He's not going to turn into Giannis or anybody like that.
What Pin means is he's not going to be this. He's going to get stronger.
He's not going to be weak. Yeah, I agree. But I think I'm going
to tell you one thing.
If I would have said,
correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what you're saying is when you view Wemby as a prospect versus the Shaqs, the LeBrons, etc., the person who's more physically dominant, physically ready, physically matured, you view them as just having the higher floor. They're more reliable. You trust that translating more because you don't have to worry about how they deal with the physicality of the NBA. And guys like Shaq and LeBron came in as Shaq, definitely like maybe the most physically dominant player in the league from day one. So it was like the floor was already there. It was like, this guy's going to dominate from day one because he's more physically mature. Whereas Wemby, it was like, yeah, we see the potential and everything he can do, but there's also the off chance that he just can't match up physically and he can't play. Is that right?
That's exactly what I said. They came in with the ability to physically assert their will when they wanted to.
And when
you just like look because it's like this. When you got somebody that can just physically assert themselves, you have to get better. You have to get your skill up.
But I can teach you that though. I can teach you that stuff.
Right. But Shaquille O'Neal was able to boom. Bang! Whenever he
I don't have to worry about it. It's like I can't teach. To Ox's point, I can't teach 7 feet, run fast, and jump high. I can't teach that.
Right.
I can't
LeBron
teach
James can open up at 19 feet, jab, and blow past you and go dunk the basketball. When you just watch Wemby versus Giannis, what did we see? What did we see when we just watched Wemby versus Giannis? We see Giannis show him
the same thing we saw when we saw Scotty Barnes versus Giannis. We saw clamps.
Please stop it. We just seen Giannis show with Victor Wembanyama like, yeah, you're really good. You're really good, kid. You're nice. But I'm a grown ass man and you're a little boy.
He had a tough game. Stop acting like one game is his whole career. He has done
it's not that.
You can act naive. You can act naive if you want to, Pen. You can act naive if you want to, but we all seen the same thing.
To his point, even though Shaq was 21, 20 years old when he came into the league, there was nobody who was little boy in him. There was nobody who was.
But Shaq still got the business given to him too.
Even if he did, but it wasn't. But it wasn't to Ox's point like that where he got roughed up. No,
it wasn't.
He might have gotten out.
You can get outplayed, but it wasn't because of the reasons Ox is saying. Like,
no,
yeah, but Wemby's
like making a point for the sake of making a point. If it's not addressing what Ox said about the physicality of it,
that's the point.
It's not
irrelevant.
Can I ask you a question? Is Domantas Sabonis more physically dominant than Wemby?
You know, obviously, Ron, that it's not that. I know that's not the end all be all. I understand that, and I'm pretty sure you know I understand that. I'm just saying that when you come in and you can physically assert yourself, it's the point where I don't have to have the same skill set opening up. Like Shaquille O'Neal didn't have to have everything in his bag when he first got there because he was already a problem because he came in like that. You know
I get that, but here's my only problem with this whole thing is I feel like we are not giving Wemby the credit that he deserves for being physically imposing. Wemby is physically imposing. The longest dude on the court, the tallest dude on the court, the most verticality on the court. Wemby is imposing. When Wemby is on the court, you are second guessing everything.
I want to know
offensively and defensively.
Rookie Shaq on the court with rookie Wemby. How does
they
that
both give each other work?
Okay.
They both give each other work.
Hang on.
Wemby go get dunked on a couple times, but Wemby go slap. But Wemby go slap Shaq shot a couple times too. He might be better.
That's not a big deal. Of course you're gonna block a couple shots, but I think Shaquille O'Neal absolutely destroys Victor Wembanyama.
Stupidest conversation. Okay, hang on 1 second.
We'll stop. We'll get out of the conversation. It'll be less stupid.
Ox, thank you very much. Ox is. I need you. I need just
every time somebody disagree with you. Oh, this is stupid. It's stupid.
No, I said the conversation was stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid.
Keep going,
okay,
keep going.
Hang on.
Keep going.
Is Domantas Sabonis more physically imposing than Wemby?
Sure.
Okay. Is Jonas Valanciunas? Hold on, no. Hang on, Joe. Hang on. Don't siren off yet. Hang on 1 second.
I apologize. Keep going.
Okay. Ox is
even though we all understand that that Domantas Sabonis isn't the level of player we're talking about right now.
Okay, but keep going.
I just need to understand if he's more physically imposing.
Let's just keep going.
Is Jonas Valanciunas more physically imposing
than who?
Wemby. He's a big boy.
No, we'll see. Look, when I said physically imposing, look at the players. Look at the players I talked about. I said LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and Wilt Chamberlain. They're not just strong, but they're strong, fast, explosive, all these things.
Cool.
Jonas Valanciunas is not that. He might be. So I'm not talking about Steven Adams. I'm not talking about.
I got you. Okay, what about Karl-Anthony Towns? Is he physically imposing?
No.
Okay. Well, you said Domas was physically imposing, so I'm
not to the level of the guys I'm talking about, though. Pin. I'm talking about Shaq, Bron, and Wilt.
When you talk about Victor Wembanyama getting bullied by Giannis, you are painting a picture that he does not do well against that type of defense, stronger players, right? I'm gonna tell you what he puts up against Washington, who have Jonas Valanciunas in there. He puts up 50 points per game this year against Washington. I'm gonna tell you what he puts up against your Sacramento Kings on 61.5. No, hang on, 61.5% shooting. He's putting up 34 points per game against New York this year. He's averaging 42.
This is where I push back.
Basketball is more than banging the post, Ox.
But this is where I push back because
thank you for telling me what I already know. Thank you for telling me what I already know, Pin, that basketball isn't just banging in the post, which I never said it was. You're talking about Jonas Valanciunas and Domantas Sabonis. I'm talking about LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and Wilt Chamberlain.
Bro, this is the thing.
Just accept it as they're different.
All I know, Ox, to you.
I'm not here to cook you, Pin. I'm just here to talk about this. This isn't a personal attack on you, Pin.
No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that, Ox. But Ox, to your point, when I walk in my house and the house is empty and there's no furniture in it, I can make the house a lot nicer if I got a job because I can put some money in it. As opposed to if I got no job, this is gonna be a little tricky. To your point, Wemby showing up. I mean, Shaq showing up, him being physically imposing like he is. The other stuff that you need to teach a big man, I can teach you that. I don't have to worry about this right here because we already have that. We're not concerned with him getting pushed around. We're not concerned with him getting bullied. We're not concerned with none of that. We can figure out the other stuff. I can definitely get with that. But when LeBron James came into the league, and I want you to go too, John. I want you to go. But when LeBron James came into the league, we can't forget the stigma of the high school player. Don't forget that. Don't leave that part out. Don't get me wrong. I think James, being the prospect that he still was coming out of high school. And there was still this stigma on high school players. With the exception of Bryant and the exception of Kevin Garnett, there weren't guys at that level that came out of high school that were like that.
Tracy
We're talking
McGrady?
about James. Yeah, and it took Tracy McGrady.
Jermaine O'Neal?
It took these dudes, Jermaine O'Neal, sat on the bench in Portland for 4 years. Tracy McGrady, it took him a while to get it together. As good as he was, it took him a while to get it together. Same thing, Bryant. It took him a while to get it together. There still was this stigma on high school players. How awesome is this guy going to be right from the beginning? Even though he was a great prospect, ridiculous athlete, ridiculous skill set, awesome in terms of his game. He had all the tools. The question was how quickly can he learn the game?
Do you know that
how
Jerry
quickly
Krause,
can he adapt to the pro game?
Did you know that Jerry Krause was considering trading Scottie Pippen for Tracy McGrady?
I did hear that.
So that the point of an 18 or 17-year-old coming into the league. Now it's interesting because I heard the story about you and Kobe Bryant, but did you know that Kobe Bryant was cooking actual NBA players in his private workouts with the Lakers? That he cooked Michael Cooper.
Years old. He cooked me at
okay.
19
Well,
years old.
I'm gonna make you feel a lot better. He cooked Michael Cooper when he was 17.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the truth. But you don't. If you're Jerry Buss,
I did score 9 points on him. By the way, let's make sure we clear on that.
All right. You were nice. You were nice like that.
I just want to make sure that we clear. I did. We played to 11, and I scored 9.
I'm gonna be clear. I don't think Michael Cooper scored 9 when he was 17. So you whooped Michael Cooper. Respect to Michael Cooper, great defender. Great defender. What I'm saying though is you don't draft a 17-year-old to carry your franchise today. You never do. You never have. And frankly, unless it is Moses Malone, you're not expecting them to come in and just be that dude right away. Maybe Shaq coming out of high school could have right away been like 18 and 16 or something like that, or 18 and 12 because he was that physically gifted. LeBron coming out was that physically gifted. So I understand what Ox's point is, like the physicality, the strength, the athletic profile, etc. I understand all of that. What I'm saying is when you're honing in on what some guys can do, what you're not doing is seeing the entire spectrum of what is defined as athleticism and physical imposition, right? What Wembanyama can do running the court is special. What he can do covering gaps onto the court. Like if he's on the side of the court, you're not scoring on that side of the court. His shot blocking radius vertically and horizontally is so huge that I have seen this guy fall for a pump fake, get back into the play. The play has moved 18 feet away from him and still recover on the block. That's crazy. I've seen this guy pulling up for logo threes. So that is physical imposition, because when you look at the physics of that shot, no one can guard that shot. No one can bother the pocket of that shot. Like Ox, you play basketball, chill. You play basketball at a high level. What are you trying to do with the shooter? You're trying to disrupt their rhythm before they get into the shot, and then when they get into their shot, you're trying to disrupt their eyesight. Like you're trying to get into their airspace to force a tough shot. But with Wemby, there are no tough shots. He's open. He's all up. He's like a dude on Mount Everest. He's all up there by himself.
Wemby shoots a lot of tough shots, bro.
But that's by design. And I think a lot of people, that's where I was, the earlier conversation about development, that's the development, right?
We don't design.
You're not trying to develop Buddy Hield here. You're not trying to develop PJ Tucker. You're trying to develop a cheat code. You're trying to develop a 7'4" Tracy McGrady up here. And that is going to be a very, very rough process. Now, the reason that I was super high.
Oh, what?
A 7'4" Tracy McGrady. That's what you're
trying to do. You said yourself that Wemby's a wing.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying you're trying to develop that.
It could be a wing, but all right, my bad. Go ahead.
So
I'm not going to derail.
Like I was super high on Wemby coming into because I think one of the largest content creators in the world made this video about how he might be injury prone, right? So I actually know a lot of people around Wemby. Like not Wemby himself, but I know people around Wemby, people who are in charge of his training, people who've been in charge of some of his development from when he was 16 to 18, 19, talking to these people and seeing how seriously this kid took everything, how seriously he took those stretching, how seriously he takes his barefoot workouts. I've posted about one of my friends and you know, Wemby doing the 7 positions and how much that's helped him. His flexibility for that size, the way he moves, is not an accident. It is every bit an outlier as LeBron and Shaq. It's just different. You've never seen we've never seen a 6'8" high schooler come in and dominate the league like LeBron. Facts. Okay. We never seen a 6'8" athlete with that kind of power and force at the rim like LeBron. Basically, you know, combining point guard quickness with center level strength it's a bullet train, right? It's like Zion. These are freakish outliers. Like we already talked about how getting into the NBA in and of itself is the biggest outlier because it's super hard. But being the Zions and the LeBrons of the world, that level of physical dominance is absolutely an outlier. Wemby is no different.
John, I know that's fair. I know John had something. What you got, John? I'm sorry.
I do think you can look at prospects and it can vary to what you value. So I think what Ox values is Shaq being able to lean on his physical dominance because that can create an easier shot from day one than maybe Wemby, because Shaq is more dominant against physical NBA bigs. I think that's what Ox values. Penn, Mars, you guys may be able to value the fact that there is an unlimited ceiling to what Victor Wembanyama brings in from day one. Some people may value LeBron's athleticism and his versatility from day one. So when we look at some of the best prospects coming in, it's all about what you value. So I personally think I value a little bit of Victor Wembanyama because you can mold his game on top of him already having that physical standout ability on the defensive side. So I don't hate the Shaq answer. Don't hate LeBron. Don't hate Wemby. But personally, I would go with Wemby. I think Ox will go with Shaq. So it varies. That's all.
Yeah, the reason why go ahead. I'm sorry, Ron.
Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. We got AD. No. We got AD and we got Wemby. We just did Shaq versus Wemby, but this episode is AD versus Wemby. So let's go ahead and get to
Hour 40 in.
The first category that I got for you guys is athleticism. We're going to go around the room like this. I'm going to go Penn, Ox, Chill, John, Mars. That's how we're going to do it. Athleticism first, Anthony Davis or Wemby? Penn.
Right now?
Today.
Yeah.
January 2025.
Wemby.
Big Ox.
You said athleticism?
Yes.
Or being a physical specimen.
Come on now. Don't change it.
I mean, same thing. Not the same thing, but no.
That's kind of tough, bro. That athleticism. AD's still very. I'm going with AD on that.
Chill.
I'm going to take Anthony Davis.
John.
It's never been easy for me to like measure athleticism for bigs, but I think I would lean Wemby just because Anthony Davis may not be able to do the same things due to him just like having the injury history. He may not want to maybe try and get back into the play as quickly as Wemby would, just due to the fact that AD does have a history. Even though the past few seasons he has been pretty healthy, but he does have the tag on him of missing some seasons, of missing some really crucial time. So I would just take Wemby in that aspect.
Mars.
Is this a tough one, Mars?
It's 2-2.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think if you just go off athleticism as like top speed and explosiveness, I think it would be Anthony Davis. I think he's a better leaper, and I think he's probably faster. Although he doesn't run that often. But then when you start factoring in like just your sphere of influence, coordination, reflexes, endurance,
durability,
like
flexibility.
I don't know if like cognitive things count as athleticism, but if you did factor them in, then I don't know. But like,
and that coordination should count.
So like that's why when you start factoring in those ancillary things that don't normally get seen as athleticism.
How is durability athleticism?
For the same reason, I think a big part of LeBron's athleticism is his durability. I think if your body's fragile, I do think that's against your athletic ability, in my opinion, because the ability to remain not available but remain able to do things is a part of athleticism to me.
All right.
But like this, I don't know if like I don't think there's a right definition for athleticism. I'm just letting people know these are the things that I'm considering, which is why it's a question for me. I might be totally off base in terms of what's actually athleticism.
But you're talking functionally basketball athleticism, then you need to talk about the full spectrum of athleticism. And the reason that this old school athleticism variant, which is strength, vertical leap, you know, this type of stuff, the reason that that's so outdated is because we've seen so many athletes who haven't fared well in those things succeed because they were so great at all the things that we don't talk about. Luka, KD, etc. These guys are not the most.
They were good at. They were good at.
I also want to make. Can I just make something very clear real quick? Because people are like, and this is, I don't like people saying things in absolutes. I'm not saying you can't be athletic if you have injury problems. I'm not saying Zion is not athletic. Someone said Ja has injury problems, so he's not athletic. No, I'm not saying if you have injury issues, you aren't athletic. For the same reason, I'm saying if you don't have a 40-inch vertical, you're not athletic. I think all of them play a part into the spectrum of athleticism. You don't need to be S tier in every category to be deemed as athletic. I think Derrick Rose was athletic, but he falls short in durability compared to a Russell Westbrook, for example, among other categories. I think Zion is athletic, but I also think he lacks durability. So when I say I count certain things towards a something, that doesn't mean if you don't match up in one thing, you aren't the overall thing. I think you can be a great athlete, but not be great durability-wise, which I'm factoring into that assessment. So please just like, I thought that was common sense, but I guess I have to like really walk people through things.
I get it. I get that.
If I have to pick, I will say Anthony Davis. If I have to pick, I'll say Anthony Davis. But it was close to me for those reasons.
Yeah, because I'm really just getting tired of being sold that Luka is this super athlete.
I wouldn't call Luka a super athlete, but I also wouldn't call him a bad athlete.
And the idea of, you know, durability not being a part of athleticism. I mean, if you can run fast, but if you can't run, what the hell are you here for? That doesn't make a difference. If you can't run long, what difference does it make? If you're strong, but you can't, you can only lift this for 2 times because you get hurt. What difference does it make how strong you are? If you could jump high, but if you can only jump high once because you roll your ankle, what difference does it make if you can jump high? Durability has everything to do with athleticism. 100%.
It's not the same thing at all. If you, that's 2 separate categories. Like I can be a way more superior athlete than him, but it's because he gets hurt less than me makes him more athletic. Yes. It might make him a better. It might make him a better athlete, but it doesn't make him more athletic.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Those are 2 separate categories.
Sure.
Those are just 2 separate categories. Like a matter of fact, I seen somebody in the chat with the perfect analogy. Is Kyle Lowry a better athlete than Derrick Rose because he got hurt less than Derrick Rose? No. So that's what I'm saying.
That's not what anybody said.
No, because
go ahead, Penn. Explain it to me, Penn. Because
if there's 2 Derrick Roses, right? Let's just say he had a twin and it's the same.
There ain't no Derrick Rose,
dude.
There's one Derrick Rose.
Okay, I'm saying there's 2 of them. Okay,
I'd be more understanding if I was guarding Derrick Rose.
Bro, I'm just saying if there's 2 Derrick Roses and one of them and one of them is durable and the other one is not, he's saying the edge goes to the more durable athlete. So if all things are equal,
that's not in the same category. Now, if there's an athletic category and then there's a durability category. Okay, so in the athletic category, if there's 2 Derrick Roses, then both those Derrick Roses get denied. And then in the durability category, the one that gets hurt, you're X'd out.
Who's the better athlete? John Wall or Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose.
I would have to say Derrick Rose, but that's really close. And it has nothing to do with getting hurt.
It's kind of close, but I'm comfortable saying Derrick Rose, if that makes sense. Like I'm comfortable with Derrick Rose, but
you know what's weird? Like, I'm gonna say John Wall, and it's for reasons that y'all not even talking about. Gait. I'm talking about gait. I'm talking about a dude's gait. I'm talking about the fact that Greg Oden having one leg longer than the other is a part of his athleticism. Yes, it matters. It matters that you're on balance.
I was with you. Now I'm completely.
But now, Penn, you're like pushing me towards the idea that you don't think Zion's that athletic.
I think Zion is a very misunderstood athlete because his body is literally built to break down.
I missed that whole part.
That doesn't mean that he's not an athlete, though, and he's not athletic.
I didn't say he's not an athlete.
No,
don't get me wrong.
Athletic.
What he does is phenomenal. I mean, the size, the strength. Zion is one of the greatest athletes in the world. He's period. Any sport, football, soccer, you name it. He's one of the best.
Penn, wait a minute though. I want to get back to what Ox said. If I'm a better athlete than you, but you're more athletic than me. I mean, that really doesn't make sense. I'm trying to understand that. Like, if you're a better athlete, I'm a better athlete than you, but you're more athletic. You're more athletic in what sense? Okay,
yeah,
because again, we both run the 100, right? We both run the 100, and you run it at I run it at 9.75. You run it at 9.8. Now, but you can only run it once or twice, and then you'll break down. I can run it all day long. All day long, I can run. All day long, I can run the 9.8. All day long, I can run 9.7. You can only run it once or twice because you'll break down 40 yards into it. Me being the better athlete, me being more athletic, I feel like those two things go hand in hand off the strength that, one, I'm more durable than you, and two, my twitch muscles and the athlete that I am, I last longer than you do.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying though, Chill. So it just depends on how much more superior am I at certain things. Like, sure, so for instance, like how there's a lot of football players that are just superior athletes, but they might not have their cardio up, and they run 80 yards, they got to go get on the oxygen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that where for instance, Chill, if you might be, I got two sons. My older son is faster, stronger, jump higher and everything, but my younger son, he just going stamina. So while he's chilling, he's still going. I think one might be more athletic, but this one's just a better athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's just a better athlete because he's gonna go. This one might, and that it has a lot to do with like he just said in the chat, it has a lot to do with stamina and durability, as opposed to just talent.
I do want to throw this out there because we're talking about them. We're talking about durability, and we're comparing the players as they are right now. And I do want to mention that Victor Wembanyama played 71 games last year, and Anthony Davis played 76. I don't know. Maybe AD might be more flexible than Victor Wembanyama.
He's not. He's not. And look, one thing I've never heard, and I haven't heard a single person bring up how fast you stop,
which matters.
Which matters so much. It matters. Look, here's the thing. Functioning on a basketball court, it matters. I don't give a shit. Yo, chat. Just so y'all know, all the tomatoes, I'm not even watching anymore. I'm off. I'm off the chat. I'm not seeing nothing.
You just made it worse by
y'all say whatever you want. I'm not saying one thing y'all say for the rest of the year. I'm on that chill thing now. I'm not looking at the chat for the rest of the year. Y'all dumb.
Chat, eat it, chat.
Eat it.
Y'all eat them tomatoes.
So what I'm saying is, when you talk to any good trainer, I wish Jordan was up here to co-sign this for real. You talk to any good trainer, what matters on the basketball court is how you navigate space. Doesn't matter how you do it. You can bump them. You look at Paolo Banchero, not typically what you would consider the greatest athlete coming out of Duke. There was a lot of conversations about how quick is he, how fast is he, etc. No, for real, there were. He's a phenomenal athlete. What I'm saying is, there was a lot of
not
talk.
A freak of nature type athlete is what you're saying.
Yeah, but when you look at the full maturation of it, he is a freak of nature. And if you look at his pull-up jump shooting percentages, it is absurd how well this dude is shooting. Why? Because he's creating so much space, because his combination of quickness, how fast he stops, how on balance he is, and the sheer strength of him, like how he's bumping dudes. He's open on all those pull-ups. He can't stay in front of him. You try to get in front of him, he bumps you, you're 4 feet back. That stuff matters. Now, none of this matters if he twists his hamstring every single time he does a move like that. None of it matters if he gets gassed and can only play 20 minutes. Steph Curry is not considered a supreme athlete, but he's one of the most supreme athletes in NBA history because of his durability, his stamina, specifically his stamina. But early on, people weren't talking about his stamina because he kept busting his ankles. So I'm saying durability is a part of it. Deceleration is a part of it. Balance is a part of it. Coordination is a part of it. Yes, your explosiveness, your strength, your vert, all that stuff matters. But it don't matter very much if your gait is broken and you're always off balance, and your lack of balance is creating a slew of injury issues. That's what I'm trying to say. Real trainers, real scouts, real medical staffs, they do the testing on this shit. They will test the athlete's body before they're drafted and see how likely is this athlete to break down, how likely are they to have back issues, what is the history of tears. Genetically, there's a component to this. A lot of athleticism is genetic. So this matters. We need to have a longer, more nuanced discussion about athleticism. The problem is every single time you want to bring up all the elements of athleticism in which Jokic, Paul Pierce, Cade Cunningham, guys like this, that they're thriving, Paolo, Luka, the guys who are not your typical Jalen Green type of bursty athletes, but like the really functionally great ones who just dominate on the court, Wemby, everyone just wants to shut it down and be like, no, that's not athleticism. That's not athleticism. No, Wemby is a freak of nature athletically. Just because he doesn't
arguing that Wemby's not a good athlete, though. Jokic,
nobody.
AD North. If Wemby at 21 is not a better athlete than Anthony Davis at 30, 32, 31,
30 years old,
then he's not a freak athlete.
I think Anthony Davis is also just a supreme athlete, but
we didn't say AD at 21 versus Wemby at 21 because that's a very.
We're talking about today. No, we're talking about today.
Yeah,
we're talking about 2025.
I think AD's not as gifted as athletically as he was a few years ago.
We're talking about 2025.
But I still think he's a supreme athlete. But I also like when I say durability, I'm not talking about just not getting hurt, because I think like if someone elbows you and you end up like getting a broken, like you fracture like your orbital or something, I'm not gonna dock you athletically for that. But like if you're constantly having muscle injuries, like lower body injuries, hamstring injuries, etc., I do think that's a part of athleticism. I think like joint injuries like knees and ankles and stuff, those I factor in. But like freak injuries that happen just because you're playing a sport, I don't view that as I don't view that as a knock on your athleticism. But like constant joint or muscle injuries, I do view that as a part of your athletic thing. So I factor that stuff in. It's not that determines who the better athlete is, but I do factor that stuff in. Like, for example, Zion now, I do think is a lesser athlete than he was a few years ago. And a large part of that is because he's constantly dealing with lower body injuries, muscle injuries, etc. But he's still a supreme athlete because of the second jump, the verticality, the speed, the first step, all of those things that I still factor into becoming a great athlete, but I don't think he's as good of an athlete as he used to be. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
is it valuable?
Mars, when you
one foot jumper, we got to move on from athleticism. We didn't talk about athleticism for the last 45 minutes.
but Ron, to that point though, it's like because when you train young athletes, you got to teach them how to work their body. Use their body. You know what I'm saying? And because slow is quick. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach them how to change pace. You understand the importance of being able to stop on a dime, the importance of being able to change direction on offense and defense. You understand all that when you've been training young athletes for as long as I have. You understand that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I also understand that when you're already a slow fat fuck, it's easy to slow down. It's easy to stop.
You ain't going that fast anyway.
All right. With that being said,
as a slow fat fuck. Speaking from experience. Sometimes it ain't that easy to slow down. I'm just saying. Sometimes it ain't that easy to stop.
That's a lot of momentum to stop.
Since he might be right, Ox, because you figure we think he going slow. He might be going fast and trying to slow that down.
Zach Randolph was a hell of an athlete.
I'm saying, go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry. As we were rolling, keep it moving.
All right, y'all. So AD takes the athleticism department. Next, we are moving on to perimeter defense. Who's the better perimeter defender, Anthony Davis or Victor Wembanyama? Pin.
Anthony Davis.
Big Ox.
Anthony Davis.
Chill Tim.
Davis.
Mars.
AD. Okay. I'm glad you're all on the same page. Okay.
And We'll ask John when he gets back, but AD has already won this category. So Anthony Davis is the better perimeter defender. Next, John D. Who's the better perimeter defender? Anthony Davis, Wemby.
He said AD.
AD, yeah, my bad.
All right. Post defense. Let's get into it. Penn, who you got?
Wemby. Wait, are we saying post defense or rim defense?
Post defense. That's what he said. In the post.
I got Anthony Davis.
Next, we have rim protector / anchor.
Okay,
can I change? Wait, can I change my
post defense? Anthony Davis. Post defense. Anthony Davis.
I guess, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I want to go to Wemby for athleticism.
All right.
Yes.
When I say it, I'm wrong. When I say I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna go to Wemby.
Ox, who's the better post defender?
I already said AD.
I say AD too.
I think it's Davis, Mars. Ron.
I think it's AD.
I think Wemby's gotten better, but I do think it's still AD.
Mm-hmm. All right. AD sweeps as a post defender. Next, we got rim protector / defensive anchor.
Wembanyama.
I don't think this is like a wash. I don't think this is a wash because I think AD does.
That's the thing. As a rim protector, I think I'm going with Wemby, but like as a defensive anchor, I guess it's just
I know
a difference of I'm gonna go with Wemby. It's fine. I'll go with Wemby.
I'm gonna go with AD because I've seen him do it as a defensive anchor. I've seen him anchor great defenses. And I've seen him anchor defenses that are less than and do a great job in anchoring the defense and rim protection. Anthony Davis is a great rim protector. Don't get me wrong. I think Wembanyama is a great shot blocker, 100%. I still think that there's some things that he's got to learn in the paint, but I think AD.
I think Wemby is more physically imposing as far as what you see, and so he deters a little more at the rim. Where even though I wish more people would just understand that you could just and Wemby's a little different. Usually when you got a big guy like that, you can really just go at their chest, and you know what I'm saying. And you shouldn't be so scared to attack them, but a lot of people see Wemby and they're like, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that's he's still able to get to the shot because of his length.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Wemby's a little different than typical. Like typically, you can see a big guy, you go at their chest. Wemby, you hit his chest and you see your shot still going that way. Matter of fact, I'm comfortably gonna go with Victor Wembanyama in this category.
All right, so Penn, you said Victor. Ox, you said Victor. Chill, you said AD.
Yes.
Okay, John, who you got?
I'm slightly leading Wemby. I think in the past it would have been, I think Wemby's just a little too aggressive when trying to block shots, but now it's like he's gotten better at that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And his rim deterrence is also probably the highest in the league. The way he's able to recover, it's just almost like he shuts down the spot. He shuts down the rim when he's on the floor. You know, when you're taking away that one of the highest level of shots in basketball at the level that Victor Wembanyama is, it's really hard to argue against that. I'm gonna go Wemby.
And how fast he gets there too. How fast he gets there on help. Like he can be outside the block over here and somebody get beat over there, and he just gets there so fast.
I think that's Anthony Davis's strength. Him being a roamer. One of his main strengths as a defender is him being a roamer, not just
not just a roamer though. He'll just help side though. Like I'm not necessarily
help side too. Also, when the ball swings from one side of the floor and I got to get from one block to the other, and a guy is coming downhill and he's smacking it up against the glass. Yes, he's fantastic at that.
Mars, who you rocking with?
Wemby. I'm comfortable with this, but I think me being comfortable just says more about Wemby than like it does against AD. Like AD might be like the second or third or top 5 best rim protector in the NBA, but Wemby's just he different.
All right, chat. Before we get to the next categories, you guys need to do your job and like the video. If you're not subscribed to Player's Choice, subscribe and also become a member. If you're watching the show and you're wondering why you can't type in the chat, it's because you're not a member. So become a member, join the chat, and don't add the one emojis that everybody's adding right now. Moving on to the next category. Also, I'm running polls for all of these questions. Chat, I want you guys to let me know exactly how you feel about this as well. The next question is, who has the better handle? Victor Wembanyama or Anthony Davis? Pin, talk to me. Chat, go vote.
Okay, this was the hardest one for me. This was the one where it was like, what do I want from my center, right? Do I want something stable? Do I want something effective? Do I want a guy who can just get from point A to point B? Or do I value the sham god? Do I value the spin dribbles? Do I value the hezzy tween? Do I value the sauce, right? I'm gonna go with Wemby because I'm gonna say his handle is just way more complicated. It's just way more complication in his moves. There's more dynamicism in his handle. It may not be as stable, right? I trust Anthony Davis. Like if I had, I'm gonna put it this way: if I had to trust someone to run point guard for me for the entire season between these two, I'm gonna go with Wemby. But if I had to trust someone to bring the ball up, Game 7 of the finals, I'm trusting AD. That's how I would see it. So I think AD is more stable, but I think Wemby is just way better.
I just want to get to, because I get it. Wemby does show like more complicated dribble moves, but that also leads to a lot of turnovers to the point where when AD does get the ball, when Wemby does get the ball in the high post or the low post, a lot of people are suggesting he doesn't even put the ball on the floor. So it's like, I get it. He may be able to show signs of doing a tween dribble, step back, but if that's leading to turnovers, I'm just not ready to say he's a better dribbler than Anthony Davis.
I hate that we can't show some of the videos on this, but if anyone wants to check this out later, check out Victor Wembanyama point God moments for 9 minutes straight. It's a video on YouTube. You'll see the crazy stuff that this guy tries. But also go but also go check out Anthony Davis one-on-one moments on YouTube. You'll see plenty of handle. And I don't think Anthony Davis gets enough credit for like the point guard stuff that he does. You know, because he grew up playing point guard, and some of that is still there in his game, but it's not an impressive handle. It's just stable.
We're talking about just simply ball handling, right?
It's up to you.
It's
up to your discretion.
Well, you know, my thing is always comfortability with the ball. It's not. I don't care how many times you throw between your legs, behind your back, spin moves, and all that shit. I don't care about sham wows or none of that. I'm more so with the ball, getting from here to there and not getting the ball taken from you. And that's Anthony Davis.
Chill.
Anthony Davis. He grew from 6'2" to 6'10", and he brought the handle with him to the NBA. Yes, he did.
John, who you rocking with?
AD.
All right. Mars?
Wemby.
Yeah, it's just so complicated to dribble the ball when you're 7'4", dude. The ball has so much longer to go. The fact that he can get down into his dribble and even pull off any of these without turning the ball over 12 times a game is a miracle. And he hasn't caught up to his body yet. Like I agree with what Ox is saying. Like it just looks a lot more stable when AD's doing it, but AD dribbles like a forward. He's playing center. He dribbles like a forward. Wemby dribbles like a guard. It's different. It's different.
I think Wemby deals with more ball pressure as well. But part of that might be because people think that they can rip him more easily than AD. So you got to play with like, why are teams pressuring Wemby more? I also think Wemby's handling more on the outside. But I do think AD's handle is generally tighter. But surprisingly, I looked it up. Wemby has lost the ball 43 times. That's led to a turnover this year, 43 times. It's fifth in the league, for anyone wondering. But Anthony Davis has lost it 35 times. So it's not a major gap, and especially when I factor in like who's being asked to do more as a ball handler. And then I look at like Wemby being able to navigate traffic, I think better, and just doing the more difficult and also I think more valuable things as a ball handler in terms of breaking down defenses on a more regular basis. Neither one of them are Kyrie, but I do think that's like in totality is probably why I would favor Wemby. Yes. Also, him being guarded by wings is also like a big thing. It's like, so they put bigs on AD, so who are usually worse on the perimeter, whereas Wemby's being guarded by like very good perimeter defenders. So like in terms of matchup difficulty and stuff for handling on the perimeter, I think Wemby has it tougher there as well. So that's why I'm gonna go with Wemby.
I think with Wemby, you see him do some flashy things sometimes, and I think it might be tricking y'all a little bit.
All right,
I mean,
next
I don't
up.
think I'm tricked. I don't think I'm tricked. I don't know.
I mean, he got to handle though. Like you can't deny the fact that he can dribble the ball. He does great things with the ball.
Who is the better post scorer? The poll is up. Chat, go vote. Pin, it's on you. Talk to me.
Volume says AD. Sheer talent says Wemby. I'm gonna go with AD because I'm a big believer in volume, but yeah, I think Wemby will be better, but I'm gonna go with AD for now.
We're talking about post scoring, Ron. Mm-hmm. It's on me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's AD. It's not even. It's actually not close.
It's pretty close.
Chill.
I think AD. I think he's a little bit more versatile on the box than Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama, I don't think he's been taught how to be a big man. I think he was taught how to play on the perimeter. I mean, he already said that he modeled his game after KD. And with him modeling his game after KD, he's not familiar with running to the box. He's not familiar with getting big and burying a guy in the post. Anthony Davis knows how to repost. Anthony Davis knows how to come over his left shoulder, how to come over his right shoulder. Anthony Davis knows how to face up a guy right on the box, as opposed to Wemby. I feel like Wemby does more perimeter stuff and brings it to the box. And I feel like Anthony Davis is more of a post player who can play on the perimeter.
I don't necessarily think it's because Wemby shows things that are intriguing. You know, when he does hold the ball high, whether it's one dribble, being able to shoot over almost any defender that's guarding him, all that stuff is intriguing. But I think AD right now is just a little bit more polished, so I would have to go AD.
Okay, Mars.
I do think it's close. I think Wemby's issue in the post is the turnovers.
Exactly.
A lot of that is because the handle and stuff in terms of putting the ball on the ground, people can get it low, all of that stuff. And AD's had statistically really bad post scoring season, but I don't think that's because of AD. I do think that's probably because the Lakers run a really bad scheme when it comes to post ups and in terms of being able to navigate double teams. And once again, this goes back to how I view JJ Redick as a coach. But so, like, if you go on a points per possession basis, Wemby is better than Anthony Davis. It's like 0.87 for AD, 0.97 for Wemby. And if you look at like raw field goal percentage in the post, AD's at like 39%. And Wemby's at 58%. The reason the points per possession difference is so big is because Wemby turns the ball over 1/5 of the time when he's in the post. But then I look at last year when I do think they actually run a better scheme when it came to post ups and help beaters and stuff like that. AD was at 1.06 points per possession in the post. So I don't think AD has just fallen off a cliff as a post player. I think JJ Redick is not doing a good job. But then I look at Wemby's just ability to post up, especially mismatches, and just really just finish over the top of them, whether that's just be turnaround bank shots off the glass or one dribble drop step, he's at the rim. Like, I understand he's not physically imposing, so it's like, well, he probably should post up more. But like in terms of just the effectiveness of when he's down there, he is pretty effective as a scorer. So that's why I think it's close. But I do think AD is the better post scorer. I think it's the versatility in the post. I think he has a better go-to move in terms of that hook shot over his left shoulder. And then I also think like just in able to take bumps and like turn over his right shoulder and shoot fadeaways and stuff is better. And I also think Wemby's posting up wings. So the same way like I gave Wemby more credit for handling on the perimeter against wings. Right. He's also posting up against wings. He's posting up against Dylan Brooks and OG Ananobis. And those guys are doing like solid jobs, but like he's posting up against smaller opponents. So with all of that being said, that's why I'm going to go with AD. But I do think it's closer than maybe you guys think it is. Like, I think it's closer.
I don't think there's a huge gap. I won't say that. I don't think there's a huge gap, but I like you comfortably talked about Wemby a little while ago. I can comfortably say Anthony Davis is better on the box than Wemby is.
All right. Next chat. We have mid-range scorers. Which one of these two is the better mid-range scorer? Pin.
Again, it's the same thing. I know Wemby's going to be better. Anthony Davis is better right now, higher volume. If I'm not mistaken, I think Anthony Davis is much higher volume. I just think Wemby would be taking more from the mid-range, but he's taking all those from three. So I'm going to just go with AD.
Big Ox?
Man, I like Wemby in the mid range. I think he should. I think Wemby can make a living in the mid range. But right now, I do got AD. Not only there, but my thing with mid range scoring, I also factor in the ability to attack from the mid range. You know what I'm saying? Catching the ball from the nail and making the move and going to the rim. I know you're technically scoring at the rim, but you catch the ball in the mid range and get to work. I think AD's still really good at that too. So I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis on this one.
For my one of chillisms, Anthony Davis got a money mid-range game. I'm taking Anthony Davis 100. Anthony Davis is money in the mid-range, especially in that pick and pop, especially in the short roll. He's got a money mid-range game. And I don't think that it's and again, I see how Wemby shoots the long ball, even Wemby off the bounce in the mid-range. He can do that. But Anthony Davis, I've seen him throughout the course of his career, and even today, how much better he is at the mid-range, 16 feet, 15 feet, and how that opens up so much more of his game. I'm taking Anthony Davis in the mid-range.
John?
I'm going to go Anthony Davis.
Mars?
I already had my answer, but then now I'm looking at numbers because that's what I do. AD shooting 32%. AD shooting 32% from 10 to 16 feet this year. Doesn't sound like money mid-range. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound like it.
It's no Giannis Antetokounmpo or anything,
Yeah, Giannis is at 50+%. It's ironic how like they both get viewed as shooters.
Hey, Giannis, where you get that mid-range off the bounce from, B? Where'd that come from?
And for contrast, Wemby's at 48% from 10 to 16 feet, which is a drastic difference. And then 16 feet to the three-point line, Wemby's at 38% and AD's at 41%. So marginal difference. Now the volume is clear. AD takes a quarter of his shots from that range, whereas Wemby takes like 16% of his shots. So the volume is different.
Who you like him, Oz?
I thought it was Wemby before I looked at the numbers because I think he's just vastly improved in terms of punishing mismatches in the mid-range and getting to his face-up jumpers, especially around the free throw line. But then I see like the drastic difference in numbers. But if I just look at overall mid-range percentage, AD's at 42% per cleaning the glass. If anyone's interested,
10 to 16 is not the only thing that's defined.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm looking at overall mid-range. So I'm on cleaning the glass right now. Wemby's at 45% and AD's at 42% this season. But the volume difference is substantial, I believe. AD's taken 306 and Wemby's taken 168. So my answer was Wemby before looking at the numbers. Now looking at the numbers, I still think it's Wemby. Yeah, I think it's Wemby. Yeah, I still think.
Until we got swayed, even though we went to the numbers.
Yeah, it's still.
I
just think Anthony Davis just isn't as good of a shooter as like the amount he shoots.
Mars, what are your numbers say about AD last year? Because clearly the volume efficiency
last year he was also 42% from mid range.
I just think that
he's been like the last 3 years he's 44, 42, 42. That's the last 3 years. Like that's just what he is. And then the years prior 39, 43, 37, 39, 41, 44. Like in the playoffs,
does it matter to you? Does it matter to you playmaking out of the mid post or mid range situations? Does it matter turning the ball over?
We were doing just like everything you do.
It was mid range score.
Just getting buckets.
Mid range score. Okay, but does it matter how complicated what you're doing is? Like for instance, what pull up versus catch and shoot mid range shot easier, pull up harder. Right? Does it matter the difficulty? So I think that matters too. Like I think overall, I would imagine Wemby has a larger shot variety and larger shot difficulty in terms of like off the bounce pull ups and stuff. Right.
I could like find numbers for that, but I think we can all just trust our eye test on that. AD's getting a lot of those pick and pop opportunities, like Chill alluded to, or he'll get like face up, jab step jumpers, or occasionally he'll do like a face up, he'll jab and he'll do like a step back. Like, which is still like a relatively difficult shot, but Wemby's doing face up, one dribble, pull up, right and left, fadeaways. So the difficulty, I think, does favor Wemby. The percentages favor Wemby. The volume favors AD.
Okay, I'm going to change my vote to Wemby as well. I have been swayed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do 3-point shooting next, but like overall shooting, I just think Wemby's the better shooter. I just think AD's not that good of a shooter, especially for the amount of jump shots he takes. And I don't think he has been in a while. I think it looks like similar to what we said about the handle with Ox. He said it looks better. And I'm gonna say this, and it's like, if people said AD is a better mid-range shooter than Giannis, it would be seen as like, oh yeah, AD is a better mid-range shooter than Giannis. I don't think they're close. I don't think they're in the same realm right this season. I don't think they're in the same realm. The numbers will say that. The volume will say that. Like, Giannis is a better mid-range shooter than Anthony Davis. But because AD's game looks prettier in the mid-range, people would pick Anthony Davis.
And it's been like that. And it's been like that over the course of other seasons.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Automatically,
AD's still good. He's solid in the mid-range. But
now,
Wemby's probably better.
And we're going to get to that, because when Mars says he's not a good shooter, I mean, is the long ball is that what's swaying you? Because again, when I think about him, I mean, I think he's shooting under 30% at the long ball line, and I ain't even talking about this season.
He's at 32% this season, so
because I never thought I never thought he was a good long ball shooter. I don't feel nearly as confident when he's shooting the long ball as I do when he's in the short roll or when he flares on a pick and roll or a pick and pop. I don't feel as nearly as confident as I do when Dirk did it or when Rasheed Wallace did it. I didn't feel nearly as confident as those guys. However, I feel like with him, which the area that he plays in where he's the most effective, which is in the mid-range and in the mid-post, I love him shooting in that area. So when you tell me that he's not a good shooter, like when I watch him, I haven't gone to the numbers, but when I watch him in those areas and how effective he is operating off other guys, he's great, man. He's great.
Maybe he misses during your washroom breaks. You ever think about that?
Yeah, I think he's solid. I think I think AD in the playoffs is a much better mid-range shooter. The numbers will suggest that, but like I think anyone who watches will suggest that. Like last year in the mid-range, he shot 48% in the playoff series against Denver. The year before that, 46%. The year against the Suns in 21 when he was hurt, 38%, and then the bubble 49%. So like in the playoffs in the mid-range, he's typically really good. But just for his career, I just don't think he's been that good. And like as an overall shooter, like I think he's become like a solid free throw shooter for a big. He's never been a good 3-point shooter. His years in LA, so the last 5 years, he's a 28% 3-point shooter. He's just never been good.
29.
And even from mid-range in that time, he's like a 41% mid-range shooter. So like the numbers don't say the same thing that like the eye test seems to say about AD's shooting ability, which like, I mean, sometimes that happens, but I just think with AD, it's like a large disconnect between the actual accuracy of these shots and the perception of his shooting ability.
Right.
He's an interior big. He's an inside scoring big. He's a play finishing big. Not much of a versatile scorer. I wouldn't even call him a 2-level scorer, if I'm being honest.
All right. Next up, we got 3-point shooting. Wemby versus Anthony Davis.
This is a sweep.
Him got Wemby. Big Ox, who you got?
For 3-point shooting?
Yes.
It's Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
Chill, you got Wemby?
I'll take Wemby, yes.
John Mars, Wemby?
Yeah.
Yes, Wemby. Easily. They're not even in the same. AD's a bad 3-point shooter, but I like any objective measure.
I feel much comfortable with Wemby shooting the long ball than Anthony Davis. Much more comfortable.
All right. That was easy. Mm-hmm. Next up, chat. The poll's going up right now, too. Who is the better rebounder? Penn, talk to me.
Wemby.
What? Hold on.
What?
I think Penn's going to be on his own on this one. I think Penn's going to be on his own.
Penn, what are you doing, man?
Wait. Can we do? You don't. I mean, obviously, you don't have to explain yourself to me, but I'm just curious. Where'd you come up with that?
Yes, please.
Numbers.
The number? El Basketball. Yeah.
What number are you looking at? Genuinely,
Ron, why would you even ask this question?
Defensive.
This one right here is actually the biggest
defensive
gap.
rebound rate. Okay, I can now.
We're looking at now.
The defense.
What's the formula to that? What's the
percentage of rebounds available that you get? So like, if a team misses 80 shots and you get 13 defensive rebounds,
right?
13 is a percentage of 80. Whereas if another team misses 100 shots and you get 14 defensive rebounds, 14 out as a percentage of 100. So it filters out for like the amount of opportunities you have to get said rebounds. That's what. But he only used defensive rebound rate, which is interesting.
Well, because he doesn't play around the basket very
perimeter.
much, so the offensive rebound rate is going to obviously favor AD.
Wouldn't
But
that be a
it
problem
doesn't.
for him, though,
Actually,
Penn, though,
But
considering how big he is?
but on defense, AD plays further away from the rim than Wemby does.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because they're
And what,
switching.
what about the
could I not
quality
use
of
that same
shot?
argument, or does it not count in that regard?
Bro.
Well, I'm saying when you know,
Can we-
like
can we
when
be
a lot
for
of
real
times
for
when
one
you shoot
second?
threes, it's
Yeah,
a
y'all
real-
act
we're
like-
being
yeah.
for real. We're for sure being for
Yo,
real.
one thing. Wembanyama averages more defensive rebounds per game, per possession than Anthony Davis. He
per
does.
possession. It's only how many you
So
can only get
if
one
we're-
rebound per possession.
Per
If we
100
just look at the game,
when you
the last game the
just
Lakers played, how
Hmm?
many times have we? If we just look at the last game the Lakers played, how many times have we caught AD on the perimeter when the shot's going up? Because they're switching everything, and then later into the game when the Spurs started realizing that, they put AD on the perimeter as much as they possibly could. He plays further away from the basket defensively.
Okay,
Sometimes
wait,
he
no.
puts AD on the perimeter.
I'm on cleaning the glass again, my good friend. Cleaning the glass. Wemby
glass.
rebounds 23.5% of all defensive rebounds available for him. So when he's on the floor, he rebounds 23.5% of the other team's misses. AD this season is 25.4% of the other team's misses.
The numbers were
So
wrong.
on defense, he's rebounding more. And on offense, AD's at 8.8%. And Wemby's at 5.6%. So even the rebounding rate is pointing towards Anthony Davis.
Numbers lie.
Why does the site say that it's 99th percentile for Wemby?
So,
I don't know, but I paid for cleaning the glass, so they better not be lying to me.
Well,
Okay,
one
I'm
of you
just
guys'
looking at-
websites.
I don't know why
Cleaning
these
the glass.
stat websites got to make you pay nowadays.
Cleaning the glass is a very reliable stat website if anyone's interested.
Hen, what side are
this
you
is
on?
free promo for them, I guess. But they're saying Wemby's rebounding rate is below Anthony Davis.
Which one of these nerd ass sites is lying? We
Ryan, it
gotta
don't
figure
matter.
out.
It don't
Glass,
matter,
I
Ryan.
trust
We
cleaning
shouldn't.
the
Ryan,
glass. Penn,
I know
state
one thing, Ryan. We shouldn't be doing this based on a website anyway.
I agree. But I thought everyone was gonna say AD.
Well, everybody.
Everyone's gonna say AD.
I mean, for what it's worth, I trust Toronto over where you're at, Mars, wherever you may be. So, Penn, I think
the websites don't change based on where you are. It's the World Wide Web. It's not the Canada Wide Web.
I just trust you more. I just trust you more than
Well, that's not true. There are some states that don't allow you to get on certain sites nowadays.
What?
Wow, where do you know that from, Ox?
Huh?
Okay,
on the West Coast. We can do whatever we want over here, John.
Yeah, you got freedom. You got freedom over there. Nice.
Penn, who are you going with? Are you sticking with Wemby?
No, I switch.
All right, AD.
No, I think it's gonna be a sweep.
Big Ox.
I don't even got nothing to say right now. I'm just disappointed right now. Bro.
Chill.
Davis.
John D.
AD.
And for the record, Ron, when they played them on the 13th, I think
AD had 8 offensive
Anthony Davis.
rebounds.
I think he had 8 offensive rebounds. That's your job, Wemby, to rebound on the defensive glass. That's your job.
Wemby, but in
When he
back-to-back
gets
games,
stronger-
Why? Because
Wemby probably
because
will
he's
be a
7'5",
better rebounder down the line. He probably will.
Chill, are you
Yes.
telling me that just because he's 7'5", you should be rebounding? Chill.
I mean,
Imagine that. Imagine me what my 7'5" franchise player to get on the glass.
I think this dude is going to average.
How dare you, Ox?
a game.
What's wrong with you?
16 is a lot. 16 is a lot.
Yeah. What does
Damn, you asked me to
Wemby
rebound.
peak at?
The hell is
What
wrong
does
with you,
Wemby-
Ox?
Real quick. What
Yo,
does Wemby-
John, I got to step in because we got about 30 minutes left and we got to get through the rest of these.
Ox, what are you gonna do next? Ox, make me block shots too? Is that what you're gonna do? The hell is wrong with you? Go ahead, I'm
Finishing, y'all. Who is the better play finisher?
This is tough.
Anthony Davis or Victor Wembanyama?
This is very tough.
Again, I'm sorry.
Play finisher, Anthony Davis.
Just
No, you know
finishing at the rim, right? Not just play finishing in general.
No, just play finisher.
No, play finishing can be pick and pop. It can be lobs.
But I want to know what Ron's talking about.
It's up to our discretion, Marsh.
Play
lobs.
I'm more so talking about finishing at the rim, but if y'all want to factor that type of stuff in, y'all got it.
I'm gonna factor in all of it. The pick and pop, the roll into the rim, cut into the basket. I favor Wemby just a little bit when it comes to the pick and pop style, and just rolling to the rim and lob threats and offensive rebounds and putbacks, I'm favoring Wemby just a little bit, but it is very close.
All right, and Penn, who are you rocking with?
We're sticking to paint finishing. It's not like to overall play finishing. Well, you can't define it differently. Okay, I'm inclined to say Wemby because I think just the efficiency is so great, and there's a lot more dynamicism. But AD's volume of finishes around the rim is far greater. He's just around there more often. He's going up against bigs usually. He's boxing out bigs. He's offensive rebounding over bigs. He's getting lobs and putting it over bigs. So I don't know if we're talking just paint finishing. I'm gonna go with AD.
I'm not just talking about in the paint. I'm talking about just finishing plays all around. Because as we know, you can finish a play from anywhere. I think
they didn't hear you. One more time, Mark. They didn't hear that last one. Say that last part again.
You can finish a play from anywhere on the court. You know what I'm saying? Just finish it. You don't got to finish it in the paint. So that's what I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna just sit on that. My thing with Wemby is I trust AD with the ball more. Like towards the end of the shot clock. I think Wemby has a tendency to bail teams out with threes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do some airhead what I consider to be airhead things. And I also think Wemby is more. I think Wemby needs more of like a Chris Paul, like how he got now. I think Wemby at this stage in his career needs not to be spoon-fed, but facilitated more than I think AD does at this point in his career right now. I think you can get the ball to AD pretty much anywhere on the court, and he can make something happen with it, as opposed to Wemby bailing you out a little more. But Wemby is such a lob threat, such a guy where you can give him the ball. You know what I'm saying? Cutting to the rim. So if he has somebody that can get him the ball in the right spots, I think I do got to go with Victor Wembanyama on this one. Because I've seen him even with the bailout stuff I'm talking about. I've seen him finish plays. I've seen him finish plays where I just didn't see no hope in the play because of his physical attributes. Yeah, I'm going with Victor Wembanyama for sure. I think I got Victor. I got Vic on this one.
Chill.
I'm going to take AD because I'm thinking about on the defensive side of the ball, finishing plays, blocking shots, not just blocking shots, getting steals, and getting up the floor and turning that defense into offense and finishing on the offensive end. In addition to pick and pop, pick and dive when they throw the ball to him at the rim, getting lobs. Also, when he reposts in the paint, I think that I think Anthony Davis, when we talking about him finishing overall plays, I think he finishes more plays overall on both sides of the ball than Victor Wembanyama does. Now, we can have this conversation again in another year, 2 years, and it's probably going to be different. But I think today, Anthony Davis is a better play finisher than Victor Wembanyama.
All right, Mars, who you rocking with?
Well, I guess everyone's given their interpretation of the term play finishing. I think play finishing is just like, I don't factor in defense when I think about play finishing. I think on offense, it's just, finishing plays, whether that be a lob, whether that be a catch and shoot jumper, pick and pop. It's just you didn't create for yourself like on the ball, but the play ends with you. So whether that's spotting up, like I said, pick and pop, lobs, putbacks, just all of those things. I think Wemby's the more versatile play finisher in terms of he's got that great catch radius on lobs. He's an excellent finisher when he's down there. I think his percentage of the rim is higher than AD's, but AD clears in volume because he's closer to the rim usually, which is good because that's where he's best at. But I think Wemby with the ability to pick and pop, shoot, catch and shoot jumpers, which he's got better at this year. Although AD does have that offensive rebound and major edge. It's not even an edge at that point. It's just a gap. And those second chances are valuable. I'm going to say Wemby just because I think the versatility is probably more valuable than the extra opportunities.
All right. Wemby takes the cake for play finishing. Wow. Next up, we have efficiency, Penn. Which one of these two is more efficient?
Go with Wemby.
Okay. Ox.
AD.
Chill.
Anthony Davis.
John.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. Come back. No, don't come back to me. Give me Wemby. Give me Wemby. Give me Wemby.
All right, we got a tie. Mars, who you rocking with?
I mean, because typically, like efficiency, like scoring efficiency is like measured by like true shooting and stuff, but like that doesn't factor in scoring off putbacks or like off your own putbacks, because like it counts as 2 shots, which affects your true shooting, but technically you did it on 1 possession, so technically you didn't
doesn't take into account taking stupid ass shots.
Yeah, and just like like there's also the fact that
the fuck are you doing?
There's also the idea of like you shoot bad threes, that probably leads to transition offense more often than missing a layup. But
what about shot quality, Mars? Does that matter?
Yeah, I think shot quality is part of efficiency. I mean, if you're taking more quality shots consistently, you do have the more efficient shot diet. But I would argue Wemby has the more efficient shot diet due to the fact that he takes more threes than AD's mid-range jumpers, which probably aren't the most efficient shots, as we've already outlined. But then I think the thing that efficiency doesn't factor in is turnovers. And Wemby turns the ball over at a much higher rate than AD does. And if you're not getting anything on a possession, that's not an efficient possession. So I think although the true shooting favors Wemby, I think the turnovers factored in and AD scoring off putbacks more often than Wemby does, which isn't factored into the true shooting equation. I do think AD is the more efficient player. So yeah, I'm gonna go with AD.
All right. Anthony Davis is the more efficient player. Next up, chat, we have passing. Who's the better passer, Victor Wembanyama or Anthony Davis?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Wemby. I mean, it's like deadlock. They're the same to me. Like if I was ranking them, wherever they rank in the league, 22nd, 23rd, 45th, whatever they are, 80th, I don't know. They would be the back-to-back. They would be like 1A, 1B.
All right, Ox.
I don't know, Ron. I got to flip a coin on this one. I don't think either one of them are particularly great passers. I'm gonna go. I want to go with Wemby just because of his ability to, see over and make these passes. But then it's you got to be strong with the ball, where I believe AD is stronger with the basketball than Wemby. But I feel like that's kind of I feel like it's kind of a bailout.
No, it's not, Ox. You got to take care of the basketball when you're passing the ball. You have to take care of the basketball.
You certainly do have to take care of the basketball. I'm just not trying to go too far into it.
I can't get the ball on the block, and just because I'm taller, I'm gonna be loose with the ball and get ripped.
Yeah, we've seen AD struggle, like when he gets double teamed. We've seen him struggle when he gets double teamed in the post and stuff too. Shit, bro, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Heads is AD. Heads AD.
AD it is.
Yo, Pig, you chose AD or Wemby?
I chose Wemby.
All right. Chill, who you rocking with?
I'm going to take Wemby in this particular situation, even though Mars talked to me about the turnovers. When I see Anthony Davis in the post, when he gets doubled in particular, especially at this point in his career, I would think that he would know how to navigate out of double teams, whether it's dribbling out of double teams, whether it's passing out of double teams, making better passes out of the double team. It just doesn't seem as advanced as it should be for a guy his age. Wemby, on the other hand, I feel like he's far more advanced at his age, passing out of a double team, one-on-one on the block. I feel like I'm gonna give the edge to Wemby, also off the strength of Wemby, even on the perimeter. Like when he's got the ball on the perimeter, not just moving the ball, some basic shit. No, I think Wemby gets downhill and he attracts defenses and he can draw and kick too. I'm going to take Wemby in this particular situation.
All right, John, who you rocking with?
Yep. I'm going to go with Wemby.
Okay. Mars. Wemby or AD?
I don't think this one is close. I don't think AD is a good passer at all. I think Wemby is a good passer. I think AD is a solid stationary passer where, like, if he's at the top of the key and he's watching movement and cutters, he can find guys. I think the moment you make AD put the ball down or he's passing on the move, I think his accuracy wanes. I think his vision, he gets tunnel vision. I don't think he's a good passer. I think Wemby, much better interior passer, much more creative passer, much more comfortable throwing through tight windows. I think the accuracy can get away from Wemby a little bit, but I think just in terms of passing volume, passing versatility, the value of said passes, I think Wemby clears all around. I think Wemby's a legitimately good passer for a big, and I think AD's a below average one. So this isn't close to me.
Average for a big?
Yes, I think AD's a below average passer for a big. Yes, I don't think he's a good passer, like, at all. But
wow,
I don't know. Maybe I could be way off on this. Maybe I'm miss scouting AD.
He should be a better passer than what he is, Penn. Considering a guy who got the offense.
I just don't think AD is a good passer.
Like, a guy who they run the offense through like him. They run the offense through, especially considering the offense.
Well, someone said I sound fucking stupid.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean,
no, Mike Valley Production said I sound stupid. So shout out to him.
Mike Value Production.
I think I gave a pretty accurate scout, but if I'm wrong, then that's fine. But like,
what I'm saying is, like, if you're saying below average, or I want to ask, are you talking below average among centers, or below average among starting centers, or below average among stars?
Well, I said big, so like
just guys that you run the offense through, Penn.
So like if I go through the NBA, and I'm gonna go through this real quick, Ron, don't worry. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, I both consider better than Anthony Davis. Porzingis, I consider worse. Cat, I consider better. Wendell Carter, I'd consider in the same tier, but I'll give AD the edge. Brook Lopez, I consider worse. Giannis is a big, I consider him better. Miles Turner, worse. Bam Adebayo is better.
But you're not counting Bobby Portis in there. You're not counting those guys. So when you say
starting bigs. Okay, I'll make it starting bigs is what I'm talking. Starting bigs.
Okay.
Jalen Duren is a better passer. Clint Capella is worse. Vucevic, same tier. Embiid's in a similar tier, but Embiid's better. He's better than Claxton. What team's next? Sorry, bear with me. He's better than Pirtle. He's better than Mark Williams.
Pirtle's a really good passer.
Huh?
Pirtle's a really good passer. He's a really good passer.
You want to say Pirtle's better?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying if you're saying
Pirtle's better, my fault.
No. I'm saying if he's better than Pirtle, but he's not better than Jalen Duren. I'm curious, what am I missing on Jalen Duren?
I think Jalen Duren is actually a pretty good passer, but I might have misrepresented Jakob Poeltl. I'm fine with that. I haven't watched enough Toronto games to say with comfortability that I don't speak without a lot of knowledge on people, and I'm going through the whole league, so I could be off base with Jakob Poeltl, and I'm gonna defer to you on that in that sense. So Jakob Poeltl can be better than AD. I'd rather just say do not know, but I'll defer. I think Chet's a better passer. I think Şengün is a better passer. Okay, Jaren Jackson is worse. Jokic obviously is better. Zoo is worse. Lively is better. LeBron plays the 4 and obviously is better, but I'm not going to include him. He's better than Rudy. He's worse than Wemby. He's worse than Sabonis. Nurkic thinks he's a good passer, but he sucks.
Nurkic think he's nice as hell, Mars.
Draymond is a better passer, obviously. He's a better passer than DeAndre Ayton. He's a better passer than who plays the 5 in Utah right now? Is it still John Collins?
Okay.
Or do they? Oh, they start Walker Kessler. Yeah, my fault. He's a better passer than Walker Kessler easily. And he's a better passer than Yves Missi. So he's in the bottom half of the starting bigs in the league. So that's why I said below average.
Well, with that being
said, that's just me going through it quick. So I might be like,
I'm running a poll right now. Is AD a below average passer for a big man? 50% of you said yes, and obviously 50% of you said no. So basically, according to my guy Mike Valley Productions, 50% of y'all sound dumb as shit. All right, let's move on to the next category. We have IQ. Who has the better IQ? Anthony Davis or Victor Wembanyama? Penn, talk to me.
Basketball IQ. Obviously, we're talking about basketball IQ here. I'm gonna say Wemby.
Wemby being a good chess player isn't relevant.
That is all that's relevant to me right now. Okay, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm a chess player. Wemby's a chess player. Luka's a chess player. Ergo, everyone who plays chess is smart. Wemby clears.
Are you really taking Wemby because he's a chess player?
Yep.
You remember
dead ass. Yep.
You remember Anthony Davis, the glasses looking dude that was in school? He was, the nerd looking dude.
Oh, so because he looked like a nerd,
wears glasses.
Oh
he's
Yo, he plays chess, but he plays chess, but is he good at chess? There's a difference between playing chess and being good at chess. Yeah. Anybody can play chess.
Bro,
I play chess. I play chess with my son all the time, and let me tell you, I'll be kicking his ass. He's terrible. So, but he still plays. You know what I'm saying?
Overall basketball IQ. I mean, it's hard to because AD's a Hall of Famer, right? And Wemby, according to some of y'all, is dumb as shit because he takes these crazy ass shots and commits these turnovers.
Right.
But I don't think I judge the Wemby that I watched in France, not before the NBA. I'm talking France this summer. I judge the guy who plays within himself, and then I have to take a different lens when I talk about San Antonio Wemby, who's trying to explore his game and learn all these new things. I don't think some of those pull-up threes are stupid. I think it's reps. I think they're doing with him what they did with Jeremy Sohan last year, which is giving him reps to do some new stuff. But I think he processes the game at a very elite level. I don't think the passing is lying to you. Usually the best expression of basketball IQ is efficiency and passing talent. We've already said Wemby's more efficient, and I've already said Wemby's a better passer. So why would I say Wemby has a lower basketball IQ?
Well, I mean,
I like to judge.
But
I like to judge. I like to judge basketball IQ also on where you are on defense. You know what I'm saying? Playing defense, being in the right spots, being in the right places. That's I look at that, and
if we can break it down offensively and defensively, I think when Anthony Davis has a higher defensive basketball IQ and Wemby has a higher offensive basketball IQ.
Yeah, see, with this shot selection, I have to strongly disagree with you. So I'm going with AD on this one, Ron.
All right, Anthony Davis. We got one for Wemby, one for Anthony Davis. Chill. Who you got?
I'm going to take Anthony Davis.
All right, John.
I got AD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mars, Wemby or AD IQ?
I think IQ is difficult because it's hard to separate like what's instinct versus what's intelligence. And then is instinct a part of intelligence? If you instinctually feel the need to do something, is that because you're smart or just because you have good instincts? Or do you have good instincts because you're smart? I don't know.
I think that's a part of IQ, Mars.
Yeah, so I feel like Wemby's instincts definitely put him in good spots and not make him make good decisions, but lead to him making good decisions more often than not. But I also think he makes a lot of bad decisions. But I think you listen to Wemby and you hear him explain his thought process when he's going through certain plays or when he's in post-game press conferences and stuff. You can see he thinks the game, but I think AD also thinks the game, especially defensively. I think AD defensively might be on like not a different planet to Wemby, but a different planet to a lot of people in terms of his understanding of defense and personnel. But Wemby learns so quick. But is that because he has so much to learn? Whereas with AD, he's pretty much learned all he can. But then
actually, one of the biggest markers of IQ is how quickly you learn.
Being a quick study, yeah.
It's one of the quickest.
I'll probably say Anthony Davis, just because I think Wemby's more error prone. But I don't think making errors makes you stupider.
I actually think I'll push back on the other side. I'll say actually making a lot of errors when you're young actually is an indication that you're very smart.
You're trying to learn it.
Yeah, the people that I met, the people in my life that I've seen that are the smartest people were either very deviant on one side or the other. Like they were either they're extreme outliers. Either they were robbing people and committing petty crimes and shit because they were deviating from the norm that way. Or they were, honor roll chess club type of people because they were deviating that way. Typically, again, it's like it's almost like it's almost like a neurodivergent trend. It's true. Yeah. So and yes, like when
great explanation.
No, it's true. When in grade 6 or grade 7, when you see a player turning the ball over a lot, that's typically when you know that player, like especially when you see them trying things, new things behind the backs and stuff. At least they're seeing it. Right.
I mean, yeah, but I hear where you're coming from, Pin. I do. It's just about what mistakes are you making. You know what I'm saying? It's the mistakes you're making. If you're doing the same thing over and over, you're making the same mistake. True. Then I don't think that's an indication of a high IQ. If you are trying to throw behind the back passes when it's simple bounce pass, chest pass, I don't think that's an indication of a high IQ. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Wemby making the same
mistakes. I'm really good at stealing cars, but I keep going back to the same neighborhood and getting caught in the same neighborhood stealing cars.
Like,
I can boost the car though.
Yeah, man.
Robert, running through somebody's pockets has never been an indication of high IQ to me. But I don't know.
I keep trying to
I don't know, man.
City, but Batman here, you know what I'm saying? Batman here, and I keep trying to rob Gotham City. You know, Batman don't play.
Yeah, I think Jason Kidd came into the league one of the smartest players in the NBA. I think John Stockton came into the league smart as hell. I think Chris Paul came into the league smart as hell. So I don't think being young disqualifies you from conversations about IQ.
Right. What, Mars, what do you think?
What do you think
AD
is also one of the smartest players?
What do you think AD at 21 is and Wemby at 21? AD, I think I want to say that's the 14-15 season. I think that's year 3 in Wemby, where he is right now at 21.
Well, AD was amazing at 21, but in terms of just IQ, I think Wemby's probably smarter than AD was. But IQs are hard. Like I don't know how to answer IQ related questions. I think I picked AD, so I'm gonna stick with AD. But like, I don't feel strongly one way or the other, like at all with this. If I'm being honest.
All right. Last but not least, who's just better, Anthony Davis
that's easy.
or Victor Wembanyama? Ben, talk to me.
I gotta go with Wemby.
All right,
I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis.
Chill.
Davis.
John. Now, if you guys watch the Hoop Talk podcast, once again,
this is about to be some.
You don't even know where I'm going with this. You don't even know where I'm going with this.
Go ahead.
You don't even know where I'm going with this. Like, here we go, man. This goes 3 hours to go all over again. You don't even know where I'm going.
Something amazing.
Okay. I'm waiting.
This what just happened. You said, John D, 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Like, you don't even know where I'm going with this. You don't even know where I'm going. If you guys watch the Hoop Talk podcast, it takes me a while to make these decisions because I think if you value just the motor that throughout an 82 game sample size that Victor Wembanyama can give you versus Anthony Davis, and you go Wemby, I won't hate that. But I think in a playoff series, I trust Anthony Davis to be the best defender on the floor with how he protects the rim, how he moves around, how he shuts things off defensively. And as of right now, with how AD plays offensively, I still think Anthony Davis is the better player right now. If you're saying this season Wemby's having a better season, I'm not going to hate you for that. If you say going forward you're going to take Wemby, I'm not mad at you for that because I wouldn't take anybody over Wembanyama moving towards the future. But right now, I still think Anthony Davis is the better player because I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yo, John D, February is the future. Tomorrow is the future. Okay, April is the future, bro. When I look at young players, especially ones who are as quick study as Wemby, I like to look at their season in quarters, not as full seasons. I look at every rookie's season as quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and second year 1, 2, 3, 4, and I see the jumps. You'll see them struggle super hard in their second year. They'll start out shooting like 32%, and then you look at the 10 game, 20 game sample size, and it's like, oh, it went from 31 to 36 to 42. But on the season, it ends up being 42. But then by the end of the season, they might be shooting 58 from the same spot. I'm telling you right now, Wemby is a quick study. He is getting better. I don't know if they will put some more help around him. I think he's doing more with less. He doesn't have a single teammate as good as LeBron at all. There ain't nobody on that Spurs team that you would take in a conversation with LeBron. And the teams are actually very similar records wise. So I'm just saying, if he's worse, why is his team better?
I think Wemby, I mean, now to be completely fair, with both of these guys off the floor for their teams, they're both one of the worst defenses in the league. I think Wemby's playing in a better scheme for him to be better, to to uplift his defense when he's on the floor. I think Wemby's in a better scheme to do that. Offensively, no, there's not anybody as good.
What did James Harden say? I'm not a system player. I am the system. Yo, Wemby is the system. Defense, scheme, toss it in the garbage. Wemby is the system.
I think AD can be the system for a defense as well, but I just don't think
been the system.
Exactly. I just don't think the system right now defensively for the Lakers is good at all. Yeah. And it would be nice if you had somebody that can protect the rim while AD's out on the perimeter, but they don't have that. So it's consistently
Walker Kessler.
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. But
I know the chat is gonna call me an AD hater, even though I'm not looking at the chat. But I'm gonna say this. This really is 3 hours. 3 hours of me slandering Chris Bosh, and y'all didn't even realize it. But okay, let's move on.
I was waiting to the end to bring up that this just means Wemby is like 200 times better than Chris Bosh, but you just didn't get time.
Yo, Mars,
that's really what this is about. That's the agenda.
Who's a bad player? Yeah. I think John Z said it perfectly, and that's because we're on the same podcast together, the Hoop Talk podcast on Sunday. I think the sample in which you're looking at is what's relevant when it comes to who's the better player. If you're saying who would you rather have over the course of 82 games, then I think you have to look at sustained impact, possession to possession basis, game to game basis. I think Wemby has shown and will continue to show this season he is the more valuable, more impactful regular season player because the moat is higher. He's able to give you more effort on a consistent basis. And I think his form of defense is more valuable and lends more towards the regular season. I think that's been the case for AD's whole career. But then I think once you start making the sample size smaller, whether that be for one elimination game for your life or one series for your life or however you want to do it, one playoff series, one playoff run. Once you start making the sample size smaller, then I think it lends more towards guys like AD or just the older players in general, which is why I hear a lot of like, LeBron's still top 10 because he can do this in the playoff series. Are you taking this guy over LeBron in the playoff series? Are you taking this guy over Steph in the playoff series? Like, if that's your way of looking at who the better player is who's better in a playoff series, then I think AD is the better player because I think in a playoff series, he gives you more scheme versatility defensively. I think he's the better playoff defender. I think offensively, he is the more efficient overall player. I think it's harder to take away what Wemby and what AD does offensively in the playoffs. Because of AD's skill set lending more to this outside game, the wings you can put on him that can put him off his rhythm, etc. But on a consistent basis, I think Wemby's been better. But in terms of who do I think is the better basketball player, I think it probably still is Anthony Davis. But I think the gap is extremely marginal. Like
extremely. Like this could be something that's settled going into next
week. Next week.
It's a marginal gap. This is something I said 3 weeks ago. I said I think Wemby's playing better this season. I think Anthony Davis is probably still the better player, but that's because I still think Anthony Davis is still the best defender in basketball in a playoff setting. I still think he is that. So, like, this is marginal to me. It's very marginal.
Yo, I know this is a really small sample size, but last year, Wemby, first half of the season, second half of the season, completely different player. We are talking about top 15 center to like top 3 center. That was the jump. So this is a second half player. And this year he actually has something to play for. I feel like you're all about to see like something you're going to see the jump. And I'm going to say this right now and clip it if you want. Within 4 months, this conversation is going to be crazy.
All right,
I wouldn't be surprised. Wemby's improving each day. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, every day. It's every day.
Like, he's getting better every day. So like, I'm not surprised.
This is what we're looking at in our verses. This one wasn't particularly close. Maybe when we come back at the end of the season, it'll look different. But as of right now, Wemby won athleticism. AD got perimeter defense and post defense. Wemby got the better rim protector / anchor. And then AD went on a run. He took the handles category. He took post scoring and he took mid-range scoring. 3-point shooting went to Wemby. Rebounding went to AD. Finishing went to Wemby. Efficiency went to AD. Passing went to Wemby. And then AD came back and took the IQ and just a better overall player category. And AD today wins the versus against Wemby.
Take all those ones out from Wemby and just put Penn right there because I was the only one who stood on it. And it was 4v1. And that's okay.
I also want to, like, once again, make it clear, like, I still did pick AD as the better player, but the checklist argument in general is not something that I use to determine who the better player is. Just like, for example, someone can win 9 of 10 categories, but if that one category the other person won, was by such a wide margin and is that valuable, I can still think that player is better.
And so that player is Shaq.
Yeah, so that checklist argument doesn't necessarily lend to who the better player is, even though I might have picked Wemby in more categories than AD. Now that I think about it, I might have. I can't remember. But like the checklist argument isn't how I would go about who the better players. But I do think this was fun.
I hate the checklist argument for who's better. Like I enjoyed this segment.
Yeah, I enjoyed it,
but Mars 9 out of 10. Come on.
Yeah, I think like I don't know,
come on, but 9 out of 10.
It depends on what the categories were, but like let's
and
say
how close the other categories were.
Let's say, for example, I pick player A in 9 out of 10 categories, but they are like damn near neck and neck. Like it's really close, marginal. Right. And then that 10th category is like an extremely valuable category, whether that be shooting or rim protection or something. And you just wipe the floor with him. Like this guy's a clear liability in that aspect. Right. And you are a clear positive.
Like when we do like Steph versus Kyrie.
It could be.
No, I think it's more Shaq versus Kobe.
Yeah, we do gotta move on.
No, like, it could be something like that, and I'll still pick the one who won only one category. So like it's possible, is what I'm saying.
AD versus Wemby was fire. Salute to everybody that stuck through that. You guys did your thing on that. Can't wait to throw that on social media and see how everybody reacts. Speaking of social media, shout out to TikTok and all of our TikTokers. Yeah, you TikTokers that probably have your thumb scrolling over the screen right now, like you're deciding whether to swipe up or text your crush back. Spoiler alert, they're not texting back, buddy. They left you on red. But fear not, TikTokers, because we've got something coming your way that's better than that toxic situation that you're in your text messages right now. I want to introduce to you guys our YouTube channel, Players Choice Show. Come and follow us. I know you follow us on TikTok, but I think you'll enjoy us better over here. You know, where we give our crazy NBA takes and have hilariously questionable moments that collide together. Kind of like Ja Morant trying to win MVP while playing Call of Duty at the same time. You know, over here, just imagine LeBron's game winners and Steph Curry's ankle breakers and James Harden's defense. That doesn't really exist, but so scratch that last part. But you get what I'm saying. But seriously, YouTube, over here, we give you real basketball hoop talk, and then we give you crazy takes, and then we give you everything in between, breakdowns and all of that good stuff. So if you're scrolling through TikTok right now, I know it's very addictive, but I promise you, over here on YouTube, it's just as good, where you can binge watch our clips, you can get shorts, you can get mid-form content, you can obviously get our 3-hour shows Monday through Friday. We're the only ones doing it how we do it over here on YouTube. So come and follow us. Players
Happy
Choice
birthday, Joe.
That's the YouTube channel. Come check us out soon.
Later, fellas.
Happy birthday, Joe.
All right, happy birthday, bro. Enjoy your day.
Appreciate you, OG.
All right, I'm very interested. I saw a lot of interesting super chats that I would love to get into. You know,
yeah, Ron gonna have me working overtime again.
Yeah, and I just drank 3 bottles of water. So,
all right, let's get into it. Skrilla sent through a super chat. Skrilla said Clippers would have went to the finals from 21 to 24 if not for injuries, and they would have three-peated. 2022 through 2024. Only year I'm iffy about is 2021 because the Nets make the finals if not for injuries. 2021 Nets versus Clippers. Who y'all got?
I've been consistent. I got the Nets winning that championship easy if they stay healthy.
I'm not gonna lie, if they're healthy, I don't think
no one was stopping that team. No one was stopping that team. James Harden was playing at peak levels. Kyrie was playing at peak levels. KD was playing at
peak levels. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, you won't be in that team, in my opinion.
I've been consistent about this point that the super chat made as well. And also just want to remind y'all that if we just took injuries out of basketball, not only would Kawhi Leonard have 6, maybe 8 rings, but he would be the GOAT. And that's all.
There's a lot of what ifs that have happened recently in terms of like team seasons or just injured players like Kawhi, Joel Embiid, that Nets team. Like there's a lot of what ifs that have happened. Interesting to look at it. Like what could have happened, what could have been.
No, he wouldn't have been the GOAT. And
because Bill Russell for sure. But
Bill, Michael, LeBron, yeah, he would be a top 10 player though.
Yeah, quite clears.
Carlos Hernandez said, "My Mavs need to get healthy. I would have wanted to see a healthy Mavs squad versus the Nuggets team. it always goes down to the wire.
I want to see that playoff series. I really want to see that biggest playoff series. But hopefully we get it this year. I think it's possible this year, maybe.
Yeah, 4-5 matchup. I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, a 4-5. But I think the Clippers might spoil the party.
1K David said, Chilltown, please stop bringing up what teams did in the past seasons when talking right now.
Yeah, the 2023 Lakers aren't the 2025 Lakers. I don't think they should.
I still don't know where that came from. Like, I've never been the guy to.
No, you got cooked. You got cooked.
Yeah, when I'm getting ready to jump on and I'm listening to that, I'm like, I know Chill's trying to force you to say that. I'm like, yo, but Chill got them going to the Western Conference Finals.
DSG Piccolo, fresh off of his vacation to Vietnam, he said, get Grant, Simons, and that bum, DeAndre Ayton, off my team.
I don't know what DeAndre Ayton does besides get 36 million and just not try. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, like, even if you were to move him, where could you move him?
I don't think I don't like. I'm pretty sure team scouting departments and their front offices watch players play. So if they're looking at getting DeAndre Ayton, they must watch DeAndre Ayton games, and there's no reason why they would want DeAndre Ayton unless they think they can fix him. Which I don't think there's any indication of that because he's been this way since before the draft. He made it pretty abundantly clear. So like, whatever.
Gandhi KV2 said, Pin, just keep it basketball. Stop this philosophical talk. You are not smart.
I'm smart enough not to waste $10 saying bullshit like that.
I was just about to say, he spent $10.
You running 5.7 said 2-hour debates on the Lakers. Here we go. They suck. LeBron's old. 82 inconsistent. Give it up.
I think the AD inconsistent thing needs to die out. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think AD is inconsistent, but whatever. Not too inconsistent anyway.
Skrilla said, what's the point of a super chat if y'all don't read/react to it? I paid $30 to see what y'all thoughts on my take was. Ain't about the money, but still.
We always get to every super chat, don't we?
Yeah, it just takes us 14 minutes after the show, but yeah, we get.
I mean, if we're in the middle of a segment,
well, Ron gets there eventually. You're not gonna blame me for this. This is all Ron, man.
Yeah, this is me. If we're in the middle of a segment, or if we're in the middle of a topic, chances are I'm not gonna read your super chat. But stick around to the end of the show. Your super chat will more than likely get read, unless you send like a $20 super chat or a $50 super chat or a $100 super chat, and we'll stop everything we're doing and read it. If you send a $2 super chat, sorry, buddy. Jamal Williams, we're not going to read it to the end of the show, but Chill did crash out about his own take. Thank you, Jamal.
Yeah, once again, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You got cooked.
It doesn't matter because I never said once.
I think it set a good tone. It set a good tone for the episode. You should always start our episodes like that with someone literally yelling into the microphone about something that never happened, because I just think that it sets a good vibe for the episode. Otherwise, we got you saying like, all right, guys, here we are. This is what's up.
So start the show off lying.
Start the show off screaming. That's what people
start the show off with someone getting cooked.
Crashing out.
I'm good. If I got to be the guy,
gaslighting. This is a toxic part of the internet. Come on.
Kareem NYK 2001 said JJ is a horrible coach. His defensive schemes is random. Why is AD always hedging so high at the long ball line? Question mark. Also, Bron is over as an all NBA guy.
I can guarantee you I know what videos he's watching, but I agree.
I don't like JJ Redick as a coach. Like, I haven't liked much he's done, in my opinion, and it looks like he just copies the coaches he likes and just says, yeah, forget my personnel and how it clearly doesn't work. I'm gonna just copy what Joe Mazzulla does because I like it. I'm gonna copy what Mark Dagnall does because I like it. I'm gonna copy that Will Hardy play that he designed because I like it. Like,
and it's like
personnel and he just doesn't. So
I was really praying that JJ Redick was going to be a really good coach because I was rooting for him. I'm rooting for him, but it's like you're asking our personnel to do things outside of themselves. We don't have a switch heavy type of team. We don't have a 3-point heavy type of team. So why do we come into the season and we're like, we need to take more threes, but we have a lot of guys who are not league average 3-point shooters or better, but we're still trying to take more threes. We don't have anybody who can cover the rim when AD's not there. So why is AD on the top of the perimeter for majority of possessions against one of the guys in the league, one of the very few guys in the league that you don't want to leave a guard on? Why is Victor Wembanyama being guarded by Austin Reeves on multiple possessions throughout the game? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. I'm not.
Skrilla became a YouTube member. Appreciate you for joining up, Skrilla. And Rambo E 1996 said, salute panel.
Now we have 15 months. Nice.
Salute panel. Kareem NYK 2001 became a YouTube member today. Keep going, Kareem. I like what you're doing out there. Smoke Rich Biggs sent through a members chat. He's been around for 15 months too. He said AD simply knows too much about his own game right now. AD is greater than Wemby, I'm assuming.
Well, I think that's because like Wemby just has so many unexplored avenues. I don't think that's the reason AD is better. Like that's just like Wemby just has a much higher ceiling. So because he isn't close to it doesn't mean that he's worse than AD right now. I think a lot of people know who they are as a player more than Wemby does right now. That doesn't make them better than Wemby. But I do think AD is better than Wemby, slightly.
Carlos Hernandez said, chill. How do the Lakers have a chance against the Mavs if they lost to them without Kyrie and Luka by 20?
I think that's a stupid reason. But
yeah, I don't think that's the reason I don't trust the Lakers against the Mavs. I just think their personnel, one, is they fit together a lot better. I think their defensive schemes are better. I think Luka and Kyrie can have hell of a series against our defenders. I trust Dallas just a lot more in a playoff series than LA.
Keep switching everything. Let Derek Lively play the baseline. Yeah, he gonna average like 18 on you guys. That's gonna be amazing.
18 and 14 with about 5 assists.
Yeah, those offensive rebounds gonna kill you. Oh my god, Klay Thompson was getting wide open 3 after wide open 3.
It's going to be disgusting. And then
I got the Mavs in 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to keep bringing it back up.
Unless things change. Yeah, I got the Mavs in 5.
You running 5.7 said, y'all still stuck on the 2023 run they made. They ran into Golden State with no big, and Memphis with no big / a hurt jaw. Then when they did run into a big, they got swept.
No, I still think you give them credit for beating the Grizzlies and the Warriors.
I do too. But
I do think they had favorable matchups in those series, but I also think Anthony Davis was by far the best defender in the playoffs. By far. What he was doing in that Memphis and Warriors series was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, the more I watch JJ Redick, Darvin Ham wasn't a good coach, in my opinion.
But JJ Redick isn't much of an improvement.
But JJ Redick isn't an improvement. That's what I'm saying.
Who would have been
JJ Redick isn't just a clear-cut improvement over Darvin Ham. That's my opinion. He's not.
Who would have been an improvement? The original guy they had, Frank Vogel, would he?
Frank Vogel's a better coach than both.
Yeah, it's like when I look at the Lakers, I look at a team where it's just like
coaches. That's what keeps
they should have gotten Jordy.
We could really use guys that we've had. We could really use Frank Vogel. We can really use Alex Caruso. We could really use Kentavious Caldwell. Well, after the season he's having right now, but still,
take me back to the good old days.
It's just we could really use some of these players, and where are they at?
Y'all should have hired. I'm gonna say this 100%. I was not high on JJ Redick as a coach coming in. I just did not like him. I don't like him I don't like his personality. Some people might not like my personality. I'm gonna say he's very agitating to me to listen to, and the one coach that I would have advocated for with the Lakers would have been Jordy Fernandez. And it's crazy because he was in their state. He was in Sacramento. They should have seen him. He's in their conference.
Good job in Brooklyn too.
He's doing a great job.
Almost to the point where they might fall out the top 5 because our coach is too damn good.
Like Carlos Hernandez said, we say JJ's a bad coach, but J Kidd be doing some dumb things during the season. They were switching on Joker yesterday. Like, what?
Jason Kidd this has been a consistent thing with him. He does a lot of experimenting during the regular season, whether that be with schemes, lineups, personnel, whatever the case. And then in the postseason, he finds the lineups he likes and he sticks with the scheme he likes. So I think, and this is where it goes back. Current performance, I think sometimes you have to weigh in like the past and what players and coaches have shown you in the past. Because sometimes who they are right now is because of things outside of just how good they are. And I think Jason Kidd's an example of that. I've never really liked what he does in the regular season in terms of like maximizing a regular season win column. But in the postseason, he always shows me he's a very good defensive mind. Offensively, it's a bit, but you get the job done. So I think Jason Kidd's a good coach, but not the best regular season coach. And then there's some guys who are good regular season coaches, but not the best playoff coaches. So just recognizing that.
Condrill said, get a beer, chill. I'm assuming he's on his way to get a few right now. MP13 said, I can't wait for the Lakers to run into their garbage switch, everything defense and get bounced out in round 1, 5 games in, so we can stop with the fake Laker faith.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in this team as presently constructed, but maybe things will change. Maybe JJ Redick will change his defensive philosophy. Maybe they'll run better offensive sets that fit their personnel.
Given what's at stake with LeBron, AD, I mean, look, don't take AD's health for granted. He's been relatively healthy for the last 2 years, but there's not something that can't end with one abrupt, hamstring pull. Would you consider firing JJ Redick right now and just trying something else? It just worked for the Kings. Like I would. But honestly, straight up, I would fire him.
The Kings have a full roster, and they have a deeper roster. The Lakers just firing JJ Redick wouldn't.
The reason I say no, I think it's bad timing to fire someone after their house just burnt down. So I think you'd probably have to leave it a little while because of everything.
He got the season. He got this.
I think it's bad timing to fire someone after they've just lost their house and they've been very vocal about how that's affecting him and his community. I don't think you fire someone right now.
Also, you don't fire nobody at 20-17. Like that's not. I don't think that's a fireable defense unless you were like the Celtics or unless you were OKC. No other team, if they went 20-17, will fire.
How many games?
What was Adrian Griffin's record again? What was Adrian Griffin's record?
31-13.
There you go.
So it's happened.
31-13.
I gave you one. Yep. You're cooked.
Yeah,
Next super chat. You're cooked.
Yeah, but
actually, for real though, the Bucks front office is cooked. I mean, in fairness,
you got cooked.
Well, anyway. Gandhi KV2 said, looking at the playoffs this year, who do you have becoming a playoff riser and out of nowhere riser?
A team or a player?
Maybe we can just do player.
Riser, I think, implies player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Paolo's going to be really good in the playoffs this
He's
year.
already really good. How much better do you think he's going to be?
No, when we say really good, because we talked about this once again on the Hoop Talk podcast. In the playoffs last year, he was just hitting a lot of tough shots. When we say really good this year, he's going to be imposing his will, and there's probably going to be nothing you can do about it. He's made very big strides as a playmaker. Now that he's putting his head down a lot more and getting to the rim, and you add that on top of him being a solid mid-range shooter, he's going to be really good. And I think that's going to show the world that this is my game. This is my actual game going into next season.
Paolo's going to enter the top 15 conversations, I think.
Yeah, Paulo.
He's already in the top 15 conversations.
Fran's not going to be there, but Paulo there.
No, I don't hear Paolo get spoke about a lot, but maybe I'm in the
I was very low on Paolo. Last year's playoffs made a bit of a believer out of me, but I still remain skeptical. This year, I'm converted. I'm 100% in. Paolo, the Magic, awesome. To all the Magic fans, I talked a lot of shit about y'all in the offseason signing this core material, but you going to the game tonight?
Yeah, the Bucks versus Magic is gonna be fun.
Bucks, my fault.
Damn, that's nice.
Yeah. Magic gonna take that L, but
but I gotta go see my guy, man. Paulo. We there.
In terms of playoff risers, like who could really, really step it up to the next level? I'm gonna go with Chet. Holmgren.
Oh, I want it to be Chet, but it really just depends on how he's feeling. Like if he's completely healthy. If he's completely healthy, I definitely would have thought that he's going to improve his case in these playoffs, because a lot of people are thinking that Chet was just bad last year. So I would definitely lean Chet, but it's just the health is concerning me. Where is he going to be when the playoffs start?
Jalen Green.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Jalen Green. If I'm not going to lie, if Jalen Green is averaging like 25 on some good efficiency, this guy right here is going to be insufferable. He's going to be insufferable.
I think it's possible. Jalen Green started making pull-up jumpers at the right time. All of a sudden, he's a playoff rise averaging 28. Like, it's possible.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's gonna be some really.
I wouldn't put money on it, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, man.
Will the Namikaze became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Will. Also, shout out to Kanji. Also became a YouTube member. Love the profile picture, by the way.
Yeah, what is with y'all when making PC players y'all profile picture or PC guys your profile picture?
Speaking of which, drip on Moore's floor. What is that? Became a YouTube member. Love the face. Love the face. Drip on Moore's floor.
Yeah, when was I that passionate?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
AI.
Bino has been a YouTube member for 18 months. He said, "Happy B-Day, Chill. You are officially centenarian."
Yeah, getting to triple digits is a big deal. Shout out to Chill for that. I seen currently the oldest person ever is some Japanese lady. Chill on his way, man. Chill on his way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hunter sent through a members chat. Hunter said Denver remembered how to play defense again.
They've always been an inconsistent team in terms of defensive effort. Their scheme has been consistent though, in terms of what they run. They don't really change it up too much. So when their effort's high, they can put together some good possessions, good runs. So it's just about that.
MJAD became a YouTube member. Shout out to MJ and shout out to AD. MTHJ301 said, was watching the Nuggets game last night. What if Westbrook replaced CP3 in LA during that Lob City run?
I think they'd be worse. I think
they win a championship.
I mean, maybe I'm just a lot higher on CP3 than an average NBA fan, but I do think they get worse because
I mean, we're talking about Westbrook at that time, right? So we're talking about like
2017,
like 17 Westbrook.
Yeah, 12 to 16 Westbrook.
Who I think is the better player, I think is debatable. I mean, 2012, 13, 14 is very clearly Chris Paul. But like beyond that, like conversation, that's fine. But in terms of the fit on that team, I think Chris Paul, the poise, the pace, the much better passer in terms of accuracy and consistency of delivery. And then the ability to score from multiple levels of the floor, the mid-range, get into that elbow jumper. That's what's drawing bigs out the lane in the first place. So you're a lot less lob city. It's going to be a lot more lay down city. When you're playing with Russell Westbrook, it's going to be Russell Westbrook collapsing the defense. He's laying it down to DeAndre Jordan or Blake. He's going to finish with a dunk, but it's a lot less lob city in that situation. So, yeah, I think it's a bit different.
How many times have y'all seen Chris Paul isolating on a big in the mid-range? It's almost like he can get it whenever he wants. He's like, I can get this big out in space whenever I want. And then I'm just going to fade away mid-range at the elbow.
She was going in 50% of the time, too.
You know, he's a really good pull-up jump shooter. You know who's a better pull-up jump shooter this year?
Than Chris Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Square ones.
Oh, I could have guessed that one.
Yeah, you got to guess the agenda. That's what you got to do. Just guess the agenda. There you go.
Gandhi KV2 said, do teams
too. So do teams too. So what team is going to rise in the playoffs?
Well, this is one thing I wanted to say. Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe just a little early. I had the Pacers being a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference this year coming into the season. I think they're really starting to figure it out. And I think the Pacers really give a matchup problem to a lot of these teams in the Eastern Conference. I think they're fast paced. I think if they play Milwaukee in a 7-game series, that's going to be a very tough series. A lot of people dismissed it just because Giannis wasn't healthy, but I think that's a very tough series. I think they give New York a lot of problems as well. I think the Pacers are going to shock some people, man. I
think Orlando can beat anyone.
That as well.
Now you need a lot of things to go your way, and you probably need some luck. But I think Orlando can beat anyone.
Jalen Green,
currently the 4 seed, so I count that as a playoff rise. So yeah, I'm gonna say with Paolo and Orlando, but that's both my answers. But
could you see them in a conference finals? Like if they win their first round matchup, and let's say they got to go to Cleveland, you think they?
I can see them winning a championship.
I could see them going to the finals if their 3-point shooting comes along.
Dude, bro, I can see them winning a championship. I think Jalen Suggs is nice like that. Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, the depth on that team, Cole Anthony, that's great guard play right there. It may not be elite shooting. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope brings with him championship experience, veteran presence. I like their depth. I love Jonathan Isaac. I love that he's been healthy. Franz plus Paolo, it's a mind-boggling.
Paolo agendas. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
I want to make it clear. I'm not saying I think they're going to, because I think the shooting might not even desert them. They're already a bad shooting team. I think the shooting might just stay the same in the playoffs, and they're not a good shooting team. And they might lack some space, and all of the offense might just not be good enough to get them over the top. But I think in a world where they have a 2023 Heat shooting resurgence, where the Heat go from the 27th best three-point shooting team in the regular season, and they become the best three-point shooting team in the playoffs, and they go on the finals run, maybe it might be in the Florida water. I don't know. Maybe the same thing happens to Orlando, and then I think they could beat anyone. If they shoot the three well, I think they could beat anyone.
I love that you brought up the Heat, because that's actually how I see this team. First of all, I don't think Jamal Mosley gets enough credit. I think he's one of the best coaches in the world, and he's great. And I think their defense is so plugged in. They have the personnel to shut the water off. I mean, I'm talking, they have the personnel to shut you down, shut out for like 6 minutes, 8 minutes. They could probably hold a team to like 14 points in a quarter in a playoff series. Like when it crawls down, the one issue I had was their half court efficiency, their offensive efficiency. Paolo was not efficient last year in those sets. He wasn't super efficient getting to his spots. He wasn't great playmaker. He was a good playmaker, not a great playmaker. His advancement as a playmaker and as a pull-up shooter. Yo, if you look at the numbers that this dude is putting up, 48%. Like I'll read this later because there's a super chat that pertains to it, but Paolo is shooting 48% on 8 pull-up jump shots per game. That is just this much worse than KD, who's the best in the league. Just this much. He's like a hair right now. Now, granted, it's not a huge.
I'm actually cooking.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't like an 8-game sample.
Hello,
it's not a huge sample. I understand it could fall off, but the point is, it's way better than it was last year. So, and we already seen what Franz could do. It's a real bummer that Mo Wagner is out for the season, though. He was big, big.
Really intense. Yeah.
King B said, saw a question on Twitter. If Bron and Steph never played in the NBA, who would have their 8 rings? Guys like PG, possibly, given Indiana their first ring.
KD.
Assuming teams stay the same. I can't just be like, well, instead of LeBron going to Miami, it's now Melo, Wade, and Bosh. Unless we are doing that, I don't know. But like,
if they just never,
I think the Pacers in 13 can give the Spurs a run for their money. But I'd probably say the Spurs probably still win. Well, probably win. So the Spurs end up with 6 championships in their dynasty, I'd say. 15. I mean, I can't just say the Clippers no longer blow a 3-1 lead. So I'd probably say that maybe the Rockets.
Harden gets his first one. I was just about
maybe the Rockets in 15 and 16. I think is OKC. In 17, I'm now assuming KD stays. So in 17, I think it's OKC.
18, I would say
18.
I would say Houston in 18.
18 is Houston. Yeah.
I'm going with players. I know the player that, I'm just going with players that I believe are going to clean up.
KD and Harden have much different like outlooks on how they're viewed.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And so I think Kawhi has another ring or two as well. So KD, Kawhi, and
the Spurs
and
in
James
17 were a good team. Yeah, the Spurs.
Yeah, they were really good. I forgot all about them.
I think the players who benefit the most legacy-wise is probably Harden and KD.
Harden and KD, yeah.
And Westbrook.
Oh yeah, I'm Russ. Yeah,
yeah. Russ,
but he probably never averages a triple double. So, but
got 3 rings.
Yeah, but no triple doubles. So.
Cameron Scott became a YouTube member. Big shout out to Cameron. Kareem NYK 2001 said, "Lynn, shut the hell up. This is not a David Goggins podcast." Who's Lynn?
Who's David Goggins?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
David Goggins.
I don't know who David Goggins is.
He's great.
I might know the face. I don't know people's names.
He's an ex-military Navy SEAL.
Is he the bald guy who like does workouts?
He's the bald guy who runs a lot.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know his name,
man. Navy
phenomenal.
Navy strong, man. Navy strong. We love that.
Shout out David Goggins though. MP13 said, "Happy birthday, OG. Have a good one." He's on his way to the strip club right now. He will have himself a good day. I'm sure of it. D3 said, "Giving y'all money because these picks are so ass."
I think we made good picks. Jalen Green less, OG Anunoby more, Jamal Murray. Did you have more or less?
What?
I'm gonna think Jalen. I'm telling you,
and then Trae Young more than 12 assists. Yeah, I think that's valid.
Jalen's going more.
Hell no, he ain't going more.
He's on a heater.
Yeah,
that heater going to end us. Law of averages. That heater going to end at some point.
The average is he's shooting 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point it's going to have to come down. So right now he's 6 for 6 in 2025. He's going to be 6 for 7. And then we play, and then the Rockets play again tomorrow. I'm taking less against the Kings too.
Bro, Mars, you're chasing, you're quadrupling down is crazy work. Like,
and I'm a quintuple down tomorrow if it doesn't work. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. This is a double benefit to me. Either Jalen Green plays well, and I'm happy because Jalen Green's playing well, and that means the Rockets are playing well.
This is the L.
He plays trash, and the parlay hit. Win-win. So I'm gonna keep taking Jalen Green less every time he plays.
That's
like,
jeez. Okay.
Either I win or I win.
Emotion.
Valley Productions said Cade clear Scotty. Penn stop glazing Scotty buns.
That's stupid.
Really
there are 40. Okay, they're among the top 40 pull-up jump shooters in the league. And I told you I was going to bring this up. There are 19 that shoot above 40% on those shots. They are Shea, Brandon Ingram, Devin Booker, Cam Thomas, DeMar, Jalen Brunson, Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, Cade Cunningham, Kevin Durant, Paolo, Steph, Kyrie, Zach LaVine, Tyler Hero, Darius Garland, Jalen Williams, Norman Powell. Oh, wait, I forgot one. Scotty Barnes. Those are the top 40 in terms of volume. So Force Viper tells me about volume. Those are the guys. All those dudes are considered bucket getters except for Scotty.
Y'all got to get up out of here. So I'm about to speed read through the last ones.
Go ahead.
Nick Dim said, which coach will be fired next?
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick. All right, JJ it is.
Chauncey Billups is going after the season, so I'm just saying.
MTHJ301 said, thoughts on Jay Will's proposal for a big and a guard defensive player of the year?
Love it.
I get it. It makes sense. Because the defensive player of the year favors the bigs, the rim protection, the impact, all of that. And you don't recognize the guards and the wings and their value. I think it makes sense. I think it might be a bit unfair on like the players in the past Scottie Pippen, who didn't get recognized because of the bigs in the era. But I don't think we can say we can't change it because the players of the past won't benefit. I think it would make sense. I think it's a fine change, recognizing the best wing defenders.
SimWest34 said, Penn really the Portis of PC? High usage while bricking?
$12 million a year, baby.
Shout out to Bobby Portis, man. NBA champion.
Jamal Garland said, Penn hard to watch. Hot takes that make no sense.
What was your hot take today?
I don't know.
It's been a long episode. I do not remember everything.
Penn, you was cooking. You just had a bad quarter, or
I'm gonna say this. I'm not wrong. I'm early. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Usually, I'm gonna get sick and tired of hearing people tell me, "Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Your take age like milk. Your take." Then drink it.
Kareem NYK 2001 said, "Lynn owns or Low owns you, Lynn."
Nah, you had it right the first time.
Lynn owns you, Low.
Mm-hmm.
Rod said, "Dub tanking by the Bulls last night. Love to see it." Jamal Garland sent through $2. Thank you, Jamal.
What's up, Jamal?
And last but not least, one buddy, Buttie, said this bum with the Puma hat needs the hush.
Yo, bro, Puma owes me money. Like for real. Like that brand comes up 5 million times. So I'm gonna look into this, and I'm gonna get a new hat with a paid sponsor next time, because my hat is making company money that I'm not being paid by. All right.
Speaking of paid sponsors and people that help us on this show and people that we help as well, shout out to PrizePicks. And we out of here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you later.
Merry Christmas.
Peace.
Happy birthday, Cho.